Chapter 605. Naturally, it was Lord Waterfront who shot out this water divine lightning. Since his elder brother was forced to detonate his golden core, he naturally wouldn't let him die in vain and took the opportunity to kill the heavily injured enemy. A late golden core cultivator in exchange for 2 hidden mid-golden core cultivators wasn't a loss. However, the situation on the battlefield had become even more passive. On the side of the 3 sects, 8 golden core cultivators and 5 flying warships were fighting against 7 Zhao family cultivators. These 8 golden core cultivators weren't very strong, but the flying warships were difficult to deal with. Not everyone had the ability to destroy the flying warships. On the side of the 7 Zhao family cultivators, apart from Lord Waterfront, the other 6 weren't very determined. At this point, they didn't have much hope of winning. These 6 plus Gu Qingfeng could escape at any time. If they couldn't change the situation as soon as possible, the Zhao family cultivators could only watch helplessly. The 2 Zhao family cultivators who were dealing with Luo Jiuyou and the refined corpses were furious when they saw their old brother detonate his golden core. They wanted nothing more than to tear Luo Jiuyou apart. Although Luo Jiuyou wasn't very strong, his disgusting ability wasn't weak at all. He would release a dense black fog from time to time to block spiritual sense, making it impossible to lock onto him with spiritual sense. He couldn't dodge the spells of cultivators above the Zifu realm, but that was only if he locked onto his opponent with spiritual sense. If his spiritual sense couldn't lock onto his opponent, he wouldn't even know where to cast his spells. The 2 were flustered and exasperated. They no longer cared about Luo Jiuyou and desperately killed the last refined corpse. Then they turned into 2 water dragons and approached Lord Waterfront's battle group. They also wanted to launch a sneak attack. After turning into water dragons, they attacked the heavy sword cultivator of the Crescent Sun Palace. This cultivator with a heavy sword had fought with Gu Qingfeng before and was even injured. Lord Waterfront knew their intentions and also attacked him. A mid-golden core cultivator was surrounded by 3 late golden core cultivators with superior combat strength. Even Wang Daoyuan would have to run for his life in such a situation. Unfortunately, this heavy sword cultivator didn't have any escape techniques that could block spiritual sense and couldn't dodge the water divine lightning. In the end, he was hit by 3 water divine lightning and died. Now, there were some changes in the strength of this large battle group. 9 people from the Zhao clan against 2 people from the 3 sects, 5 spiritual beasts and 5 warships. Lord Linhai and the other 2 Zhao clan cultivators weren't weak at all. 1 against 2 they could still hold their own. From the looks of it, their strengths had been evened out instead. Taoist Master Xianming is somewhat anxious. He sends a voice transmission to Luo Jiuyou. Old geezer Luo, your netherworld sects people are trash. Weren't you very capable when you fought with our 2 sects? Why was the Zhao family so useless today? 7 Jindan realm cultivators. You're the only one left. Your netherworld sect is good at playing dirty tricks. You can't deal with the Zhao family, but can't you deal with the cultivators of Linhai State? Luo Jiuyou felt embarrassed, but there was nothing he could do about it. The Zhao family had used thousands of years to thoroughly comprehend the blooming water divine thunder, and had integrated the might of the heavenly thunder into their own cultivation methods. Any of their spells could restrain the netherworld sect, not to mention the blooming water divine thunder. Most importantly, the Zhao clan was targeting the netherworld sect. Who could do anything about it? The Zhao clan was a 10,000-year-old imperial family. In terms of cultivation methods and magic inheritance, the 3 sects couldn't compare. Helpless, he could only go to the large battle group and use dirty tricks to attack the cultivators of Linhai State. Luo Jiuyou hid outside the battle group, using the flying warship to hide his figure. Then he took out a black banner. Under the urging of spiritual power, 2 streams of black stench appeared on the black banner. These 2 streams of black gas quickly turned into 2 black snakes, attacking a cultivator of Linhai State. This cultivator of Linhai State had been seriously injured before and had barely held on until now. Before he could react, he was bitten by the 2 black snakes and instantly died. Now there were only 5 Jindan realm cultivators left in Linhai State. They were somewhat afraid. After all, they had participated in this battle because the 6th prince had made a huge promise. Now, it seemed that they wouldn't be able to get any benefits and might even lose their lives. Lord Linhai was also one of the 13 families of Linhai. Naturally, he knew what these people were thinking. He immediately took out a 4th grade mid-grade extreme cold mysterious ice talisman and threw it at the only mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator. This person was a cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. He was also the only mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator of the 3 sects who was still alive. A 4th grade mid-grade extreme cold mysterious ice talisman was enough to severely injure or even kill a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator. However, against a late-stage Jindan realm cultivator, it could only severely injure him at most. Now, they needed to kill someone to boost their morale and prevent the cultivators of Linhai State from escaping. Naturally, they had to pick a soft persimmon. This cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace was being suppressed by a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator of the Zhao family. Suddenly, a ball of extremely cold qi flew over. He didn't have time to dodge and was hit directly. He was frozen by the extremely cold qi, but his physical body was strong and he didn't die. However, the Zhao family wouldn't give him a chance to recover. 2 Gui water divine thunders flew over, shattering both the man and the ice. With each side losing one person in Luo Jiuyo's sneak attack, the 3 sects only had a small advantage. Now the cultivators of the 3 sects couldn't sit still. According to their intelligence, the Zhao family had left a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator at Wanchuan Market. This person was Gu Chongqing. Wanchuan Market was their main base and naturally had to be guarded by someone. Gu Chongqing's strength was considered top-notch among the mid-stage Jindan realm cultivators. It wasn't a problem for him to guard the rear. Other than that, if they really didn't care about the rear in Linhai State, they could still pull in a few early-stage Jindan realm cultivators. Usually this group of people wouldn't be of much help. However, at this stage, one more early-stage Jindan realm cultivator could decide the outcome of the battle. Of course, the 3 sects could also pull in early-stage Jindan realm cultivators. However, these people were all seeds. If they died here, the sects would have no future. Within 300 years, these people would all pass away. By then, there would be no more Jindan realm cultivators in the sect. Xinming Jinren shouted, "Jinyang old man, don't tangle with Zhao Jingwei anymore. If this continues, you won't be his match. Pick the soft persimmon. While you still have enough spirit qi, kill everyone in Linhai State first. I'll help you deal with Zhao Jingwei first." Then he controlled the underworld water black turtle to form a black tortoise shadow and attack the 6th prince. The underworld water black turtle's attack wasn't even as strong as a mid-stage Jindan realm cultivator, but it had no problem stalling the 6th prince at the intersection of the 3 rivers. Xinming Jinren himself went to deal with Zhao Jingwei. As the master of a sect, he wasn't restrained by the Zhao family's inheritance. Stalling Zhao Jingwei for a while was no problem. After breaking away from Zhao Jingwei, Jinyang Jinren's body burned with golden flames. A golden flame giant dozens of feet tall appeared out of thin air, holding a giant golden flame sword that was more than 100 feet long. This was a high-level body refining technique. Only after practicing it to an extremely high level would one be able to cultivate a Dharma idol. The giant sword slashed at the remaining 5 cultivators of Linhai State. 1 person from the Myriad Spirit sect, 5 spirit beasts, and 5 flying warships also attacked the 5 cultivators of Linhai State. This sword carried the power of the Wanyang sword and Jinyang Jinren's physical strength. Even if the 6th prince used the Mountain River Seal, it would be difficult for him to block it. Lord Linhai and the other 2 didn't dare to block it and used escape techniques to escape. It was already very difficult for them to be surrounded by 6 Jindan realm cultivators and 5 flying warships. Now that there was this shocking attack, how could he possibly withstand it? Of the 5 cultivators of Linhai State, 2 of them had better escape techniques and escaped the encirclement. The remaining 3 were instantly killed by this sword. Gu Qingfeng and the other 2 cultivators of Linhai State didn't want to continue fighting. They used escape techniques and fled downstream along the Wanchuan River. With this sword, Jinyang Jinren had little spiritual power and divine sense left. He couldn't fight anymore. The cultivators of the 3 sects didn't stop him. They were already scared out of their wits and didn't dare to fight anymore. On the other hand, the Zhao family cultivators would be a disaster if they escaped. Zhao Jingwei shouted, "Your Majesty." The 6th prince's face revealed a hint of determination. He took out a snow-white talisman that was 1 foot long and half a foot wide. It flickered with 4th grade high-grade ice spiritual energy fluctuations. This was a blizzard-chilling talisman. This was a life-saving talisman that the 6th prince's daughter, Zhao Qingshuang, had asked for him. The cultivators of the 3 sects were naturally knowledgeable. When they saw this, their expressions changed. The future of the state of Zhao depended on how many people this snowstorm-chilling heavenly talisman could kill. Chapter 606. The 6th prince's spirit talisman was naturally thrown towards the place with the most enemies. Although the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture had either fled or died, there was still the Zhao clan left behind. Perfected Jinyang Luo Jiuyo 5 flying warships, and the myriad spirit sect cultivators' 5 spirit beasts were still there. After the spirit talisman detonated, everyone immediately used escape techniques to escape. The spirit talisman came from the northeast direction of the battle, so most of them naturally fled to the southwest. However, the 6th prince was more than 130 kilometers away from them. The cold air in the spirit talisman flew towards them, but by the time it turned into a spell, most of them would be able to escape. The Zhao clan's escape techniques were more advanced, so it wasn't a problem for Lord Linhai and the other 2 to escape. The 3 of them turned into blue true dragons and fled to the southwest in front of everyone. One of the Zhao clan members, who looked like he could die at any moment, turned around and looked at the cultivators of the 3 sects behind him. If they continued to escape, the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman would be destroyed. He gradually slowed down and distanced himself from his 2 clan brothers. He didn't have long to live and fought hard, so there were many injuries on his body. Even if he escaped, he wouldn't be able to live for more than a few years. He retracted all his spirit energy into his golden core and prepared to detonate it. At this moment, Lord Linhai and the other Zhao clan cultivator had already flown more than 5 kilometers away and were still flying forward at an extremely fast speed. At this moment, detonating their golden cores would only cause them some minor injuries. The aftermath of the explosion could also allow them to distance themselves from the threat of the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. With a loud explosion, the Zhao clan member instantly turned into a rain of blood. The cultivators of the 3 sects behind them were in an awkward situation. There was a blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman that could explode at any moment and a self-detonating golden core in front of them. The 2 spirit beasts immediately used escape techniques to increase their speed and change directions, flying to the southeast. Luo Jiuyo and the remaining myriad spirit sect cultivator burned their blood essence and true essence to follow behind the spirit beasts. The 3 spirit beasts also changed directions and fled with the spirit beasts. The 5 flying warships flew to the northwest. Perfected Jin Yang's spirit energy was already exhausted and his escape techniques weren't too brilliant. There wasn't much hope for him to escape with them. He burned his essence blood and used a secret technique to escape downwards. At the same time, he drew out a large amount of true essence from his golden core and infused it into the cruel sun sword. Whether or not he could keep his life depended on whether or not this magic tool that was close to the 5th level was reliable. Soon, the shockwave from the explosion of the golden core hit the cultivators of the 3 sects, causing them to slow down. Right at this moment, the ball of cold air released by the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman also spread out. Within a radius of 100 miles, everything was covered in snow. The reaction speed of the 3 spirit beasts was too slow, and they were hit head-on by the shockwave from the explosion of the gold core. They were pushed to the northeast by the shockwave, right at the center of the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. Their fates were obvious. They were directly turned into ice sculptures. The 5 flying warships had been cruising around the edge of the battlefield. Although they couldn't use escape techniques, their speed was still not slow. Only 2 ships were seriously damaged by the explosion of their golden cores. They were unable to avoid the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman and turned into ice sculptures. The other 3 ships were closer to the edge. They had not stayed in the snowstorm for long, and they were protected by formations, so they were not badly damaged. 2 spirit beasts were fast enough and had innate dermic arts that increased their speed. They managed to avoid the explosion of their golden cores and the snowstorm without suffering any injuries. Although Luo Jiuyo and the 1,000 spirit sect cultivator followed behind the spirit beasts, they were not fast enough. Luo Jiuyo was better off as his escape technique was better. As the master of a sect, he had many protective treasures. Even though he sacrificed 2 treasures and was severely injured, he still had the strength to fight. The 1,000 spirit sect cultivator was slightly slower and was affected by the aftershocks. He used a protective treasure and was severely injured. He was already old and now he was severely injured. Although he managed to escape, there was basically no hope for him to recover. Everyone else was affected by the blizzard-chilling heavenly talisman. Perfected being Gold Sun was the only one who took the brunt of the attack. However, he did not die. 3 of his protective treasures were destroyed. Coupled with the remnant sun sword and the protection of the golden flames, he managed to preserve his life. More than 80% of his essence blood was consumed and the true essence in his golden core was extracted, causing his cultivation realm to drop. Initially, his cultivation was close to peak golden core. But now he was only at mid-stage golden core. The remnant sun sword was also severely damaged by the snowstorm-chilling heavenly talisman. Perfected Jin Yang and the remnant sun sword would not be able to recover without 10 to 20 years of effort. Lord Linhai and the other Zhao family clansmen who were running at the front were only slightly injured by the explosion of their golden cores. At this moment, the Zhao family only had 5 people and a flying warship left. However, only the 6th prince's combat strength was intact. He was not injured at all and did not consume much spirit energy. He also had the mountain river seal in his hands. Zhao Jinghua had used up a lot of his spirit energy and spirit consciousness to fight perfected Jinyang head-on. He also suffered many internal injuries. Zhao Lingjiang was the main force in killing the underworld sect cultivator. Later on, he fought against 2,000 spirit sect cultivators and a golden condor. Although he was not injured, he did not have much spirit energy and spirit consciousness left. Lord Linhai and the other clansmen not only consumed a lot of spirit energy, they also suffered many injuries. On the side of the 3 sects, the underworld sect only had a half-injured Luo Jiuyo. The remnant Sun Palace had a late-stage golden core cultivator and a half-dead perfected Jin Yang. The myriad spirit sect had the most combat strength left. The underworld water black tortoise was almost intact. Perfected Xianming was slightly injured and consumed a lot of spirit energy to deal with Zhao Jinghua. The man and the condor who were dealing with Zhao Lingjiang still had the strength to fight. The other 2 spirit beasts still had combat strength. The late-stage golden core cultivator was seriously injured and dying. In addition, there were 3 flying warships that were almost intact. The effect of this blizzard chill heavenly talisman was not ideal. The 3 sects were still stronger than the Zhao family. The 3 sects could only rely on the underworld water black tortoise to stall the 6th prince. The underworld water black tortoise was good at defense but not offensive enough to cause harm to the 6th prince. Zhao Jinghua could completely suppress the underworld water black tortoise, but he could not kill him in a short time. Lord Linhai and the late-stage golden core cultivator were injured. Facing 2 spirit beasts and 2 warships as well as the half-injured Luo Jiuyo, they could not hold on for long. After Gu Qingfeng escaped, the late-stage golden core cultivator of the remnant Sun Palace had no opponent. He was now saving perfected Jin Yang. When he was free, the Zhao family would be even more passive. If the 6th prince could temporarily stall the underworld water black tortoise with the flying warship, he would still have a chance to kill the late-stage golden core cultivator of the remnant Sun Palace. The risk was not small. If someone self-detonated their golden core, he would be seriously injured or even lose his life. If he had the courage to risk his life, the 3 sects would have been defeated 500 years ago. Why wait until today? Now that he did not have the means to win, he thought of his unique skill again. After transmitting his voice to the other 4 members of the Zhao family, he took the flying warship and fled to the east. However, he was very decisive in his escape. He cut off the huge cabin of the flying warship with a sword. This way the warship would be more agile and faster. The remaining 4 members of the Zhao family really wanted to curse him. Zhao Lingjiang and Zhao Jinghua were stronger than their opponents. After repelling their opponents, they immediately turned into blue true dragons and flew to the east. Lord Linhai and the other Zhao family cultivator were in an awkward situation. Although they were far away from the 3 sects and were not attacked, they were alone and without help. Moreover, they were in the southwest of the 3 River Market. It was a bit difficult to run to the east. However, after receiving the 6th prince's transmission, they turned into blue true dragons and flew to the east with all their strength. The cultivators of the 3 sects came to their senses and were not in a hurry to chase after the 6th prince. That guy did not lose much spiritual power and was not injured at all. He also had the mountain river seal. Even the underworld water black tortoise could not withstand his full strength attack without the confluence of the 3 rivers. However, the remaining 2 golden core cultivators of the Zhao family could not be let go. Chapter 607. The refined corpse of the Netherworld sect that had gone out of control due to the death of its master was also turned into an ice sculpture by the blizzard chill heavenly talisman. Luo Jiuyo was the only cultivator left in the battle and he did not dare to attack the remaining 2. The Zhao family was unfortunate to have produced a trash like the 6th prince. However, the other members of the Zhao family were famous for being rash. Once they were in a desperate situation, they would self-destruct their golden cores without hesitation. The cultivation techniques that the 2 of them cultivated had the power of thunder. Once they self-destructed, those who cultivated evil cultivation techniques would not be able to withstand it at all. This time, the Netherworld sect was almost wiped out. If he died in battle, it would be difficult for the Netherworld sect to survive even if the remaining members of the Zhao family were completely destroyed. Over at the cruel Sun Palace, perfected Jin Yang was half dead and the remaining golden core cultivator naturally had to protect him. Perfected Xianming knew what was going on and shouted, "Cultivators of the myriad spirit sect, Kill these 2 golden core cultivators of the Zhao family with all your might. Old Fogey Luo, I'll leave the low-level cultivators around the Three River Market to you. Dao Yu, who has never appeared in the Cruel Sun Palace, send Jinyang Dao Yu back to the Cruel Sun Palace to recuperate. We can't be careless at the Cold River Pass either. If the Wei country breaks through the Cold River Pass, our 3 sects will be completely finished. With that, he landed on the ground and healed the late-stage golden core cultivator who was severely injured by the Blizzard Chill Heavenly Talisman. The others naturally had no objections. The late-stage golden core cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace brought perfected Jinyang and the 2 disciples who had died in battle back to the Cruel Sun Palace. Luo Jiuyo shouted, "If the affiliated families of the 3 sects turn over a new leaf, you can protect your family and atone for your crimes. Those who resist will be killed without mercy." The 6th prince fled. Not only did he leave behind the golden core cultivators, but he also left behind a large number of low-level cultivators. These people were nurtured by the Zhao family for many years, itinerant cultivators recruited from the Linhai prefecture and cultivators from the various families of the Linhai prefecture. Of course, most of them were itinerant cultivators and family cultivators who had gone to the west of the sky/mountain range. With golden core cultivators fighting nearby, these low-level cultivators were inevitably affected and the casualties were not small. When Gu Qingfeng and the rest fled, many cultivators of the Linhai prefecture had also fled. Hence, their losses were not great. When the 6th prince fled, these low-level cultivators also scattered in all directions. The cultivators nurtured by the Zhao family, on the other hand, fought to the death without retreating. Almost all of them were killed or injured. Many of them were cultivators from the main branch of the Zhao family. Now that they had heard Luo Jiuyo's words, the cultivators of the clans who had been forcibly conscripted no longer ran away. The rogue cultivators did not care about this. They were all single and had no family or job. What crime? If he ran away, he wouldn't be guilty of anything. The Linhai state cultivators who were still resisting were quickly dealt with. The myriad spirit sect's 3 spirit beasts, a golden core cultivator and 3 flying warships began to encircle Lord Waterfront and Lord Waterfront. At this moment, the 2 of them were in the form of blue true dragons south of the Wanchuan River, flying east with all their might. Their speed was extremely fast, but compared to the spirit beasts they were still a little lacking. Moreover, the escape technique could not be used for a long period of time. A rank 4 spirit bird could fly for a few months, so they wouldn't be able to escape if they continued. The mid-grade Tier 4 flying warship was unable to keep up with the speed, so it could only follow from a distance. The late-stage golden core cultivator of the myriad spirits sect rode his golden eagle and flew along the Wanchuan River, wanting to go around to the front to intercept the 2. Looking at the approaching pursuers, Lord Waterfront laughed bitterly. "Brother Linghan, I'm afraid the 2 of us will have to meet the ancestor. Uncle and Brother Linghan might as well escape. With Uncle here, our Zhao clan's inheritance will remain." Zhao Linghan said solemnly, "I'm already over 900 years old, and the grave is already up to my neck. The men of the Zhao clan take pride in dying in battle, so I should also meet the ancestor. But Linghan, you definitely cannot die. You are the link between the Zhao clan and the clans of Linhai State. If you die, the clans of Linhai State will no longer be used by our Zhao clan. I'll block the pursuers for you, and you take the opportunity to escape into the Wanchuan River. These 3 spirit beasts are not of the water attribute, so after you enter the water they won't be able to catch you." Then he handed a jade pendant to Lord Waterfront and continued, "This is my last life-saving means. You must return alive. I was really blind back then to actually support that evil beast Zhao Lingtian. Our Zhao clan's foundation has all been ruined by him. After you return, you must ask Uncle to depose that evil beast Zhao Lingtian." Back then the eldest prince also had a backup plan, but unfortunately he died in battle before he could use it. His backup plan was handed over to the 9th prince through his subordinates. The 9th prince is resolute and brave. You, Uncle, and Linghan assisted him together to tie the last of our Zhao clan's foundation into a rope. The 2 brothers haven't gone far yet, so I'll accompany them. After you succeed in reviving the country, don't forget to tell me." Then he turned around and flew towards the 3 spirit beasts of the 1,000 spirit sect. Lord Waterfront flew towards the Wanchuan River with tears in his eyes. Before he entered the water, he heard an earth-shaking explosion and a spirit beast scream. Gu Qingfeng and the other golden core cultivators received news from their clansmen that the 3 sects didn't attack. So they didn't rush back to Linhai State. They temporarily guarded the Wanchuan market and sent people to gather the fleeing clansmen. Soon the 6th prince's carriage fled back to the Wanchuan market. After half an hour, Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Lingjiang finally returned. The sixth prince didn't even want to wait for his clansmen. He made them run back on their own with injuries and exhausted their spiritual power. 2 hours later, Lord Waterfront emerged from the Wanchuan River and entered the Wanchuan market. At this moment, his clothes were tattered and his body was covered in wounds. They arrived at the meeting hall of the Wanchuan market's guardian residence. Lord Waterfront comforted Gu Chengfeng and the other cultivators before letting them leave. Only the 4 members of the Zhao clan were left in the meeting hall. Lord Waterfront took out his natal magic weapon and pointed at the sixth prince. Zhao Lingtian, are you a member of the Zhao clan or not? Do you have any backbone? If it was in the past, Zhao Jinghua would definitely reprimand him. But now, Zhao Jinghua didn't say a word and Zhao Lingjiang also pretended not to hear. Seeing Zhao Jinghua's silence, the sixth prince angrily rebuked, Zhao Linghai, how dare you speak to me like that? Bah! What kind of bullshit emperor are you? Without my support you'd still be that long-legged prince. I'm the Imperial Emperor's hereditary Lord Waterfront. You're just a prince. What right do you have to shout at me? Today, because of your escape, my Zhao clan of Waterfront lost over 1,000 disciples. Among them, over 20 are my children and grandchildren, and over 100 are my nephews and grandnephews. When Brother Linghan and I escaped, those juniors still fought to the death. They fought to the death and couldn't bring them back. I'm sorry for them, but my Waterfront clan is worthy of our ancestors. What about you, Zhao Lingtian? Have you shed a drop of blood for the Zhao clan? Have you lost a descendant? When the eldest prince was attacked, you just sat there and watched. Attacked by the 3 sects, you had a few experts of your clan, but you only knew how to run. Today, 3 brothers died in battle, but you didn't want to take any risks. If you had a bit of courage and dared to take the attack of the Netherwater Black Turtle, you would have killed the Netherwater Black Turtle. Even in the end, if you had a bit of courage, you could have killed the 2 late-stage Golden Core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace. But you only knew how to run. I must have been blind to support you. Little uncle, that year, great uncle asked you to assist the future emperor in reviving the country, but he didn't say you had to assist the long-legged prince. The 9th prince is much stronger than him. The 6th prince was flustered and exasperated. He took out the mountain river seal and was about to attack. At this moment, Zhao Jinghua and Zhao Lingjiang also took out their swords and pointed them at him. Zhao Jinghua angrily rebuked. According to the Zhao clan's rules, no matter what status one has, fleeing in the face of battle is punishable by death. As the imperial official, I'm in charge of the imperial family's affairs. Now, I have the right to kill you according to the clan's rules. Now is the time to use people, so I'll spare your life. But you actually attacked a meritorious official. You deserve to die. Besides being the son of the Lai Emperor, you're useless. The Lai Emperor has more than one son. The 9th prince is still alive, and so is the eldest grandson of the eldest prince. If you continue to be the emperor, our Zhao clan will die. If someone else becomes the emperor, there's still hope of reviving the country. For the sake of reviving the country, you should abdicate. Chapter 608. The 6th prince couldn't believe his ears. Back then, these cultivators had supported him with all their might. Even when he fled to Linhai, no one dared to disrespect him. But now, not only did no one speak up for him, they even wanted to force him to abdicate. He held the seal of mountains and rivers and roared, I'm the Emperor of Zhao. How dare you offend me? Lord Linhai said disdainfully, the Emperor sees his subjects as his brothers, and the subjects see the Emperor as their confidants. The Emperor sees his subjects as weeds, and the subjects see the Emperor as enemies. In order to escape, you treated us like weeds and abandoned us. Naturally, we see you as an enemy. Now that you've been betrayed, you can just abdicate and fight for the new emperor. You can even become a king. The 6th prince sneered, you're all injured. You're no match for me. Zhao Lingjiang narrowed his eyes and looked at the 6th prince. I'm not young anymore and I've lived long enough. Uncle is responsible for the Zhao clan's inheritance, and Lord Linhai is the link between all the clans in Linhai. I'm the only one who's useless. Why don't I detonate my Jindan and destroy you, a coward who is afraid of death and fights with your own family? Hearing this, the 6th prince was a bit scared. Zhao Jinghua said disdainfully, you still haven't learned the skills left by the ancestors. Believe it or not, I can kill you with one strike right now. The 6th prince was even more scared. Zhao Jinghua was the #1 genius of the Zhao clan in 1,000 years. He established his Violet Palace in his 70s and became one with the sword before he was 100 years old. Previously, he was able to fight head-on with Daoist Jinyang and gradually gain the upper hand. Even with the seal of mountains and rivers, he wasn't sure he could defeat Zhao Jinghua. Moreover, from what he said, he still had some tricks up his sleeve. After thinking for a long time, he sighed and said, "I'm willing to abdicate, but you have to promise me a king title." Zhao Jinghua replied, "How can we have the right to be a king? It's up to the new emperor to decide what title to give you. Now that the Zhao clan is poor and Zhao Liang isn't strong. He also has no prestige, so the 9th prince should be the new emperor. The 9th prince is benevolent and won't kill his brothers. At the very least, he'll give you the title of duke or marquis. Whether you can be a king or not, it depends on how much you can contribute in the future." He was a coward to begin with, and the courage to fight with his life on the line when he was in a fit of rage had disappeared. As long as he was not killed, he would not dare to risk his life even if he became a commoner. Now that he had the title of duke, which was not much different from the title of prince, it was already quite good. He removed the ownership of the seal of mountains and rivers and handed it to Zhao Jinghua. "I am willing to abdicate the throne to 9th brother." Zhao Jinghua took the seal of mountains and rivers and said, "Linghai, you still have some clansmen. Go to the Green Willow province and ask the 9th prince to come and inherit the throne. Also, send someone to pay a visit to the Wang clan to improve their relationship with them." The reason why the Wang family was willing to take Zhao Liang in was because of the Zhao family. "We've offended all the families in the state of Zhao. Without their support, we don't have much of a chance of winning." The Wang family still had some prestige among these old families. Putting the Wang family in an important position could also set an example for the other old families. Even if he couldn't get them to join him, he could at least get some families to remain neutral. There was also Ling Yen from the Guiyuan sword sect. He had been injured at the 9 underworld mysterious crystal mine. Even though he had not recovered yet, he still had some combat strength left. He has many subordinates and is an important force. Send someone to contact him. Lord Linhai clasped his hands in acknowledgement and left to give orders. Wang Daoyuan did not work hard on cultivating the Cloud and Rain Heart Sutra in the past few days in his abode under Jade Spring Peak. Instead, he modified his movement technique near the Fire Eye. It was hard to say how the war between the Zhao family and the 3 sects would develop. He would not be able to avoid fighting Golden Core cultivators. The only profound movement techniques he knew were the Cloud Mist Escape and Scarlet Lawn Fire Escape. The Scarlet Lawn Fire Escape was incompatible with his Violet Palace phenomenon, so he modified it to become the Vermilion Bird Fire Escape. The Vermilion Bird and the Scarlet Lawn were both phoenixes. They shared many similarities, so it was not difficult to modify them. The modified Vermilion Bird Fire Escape combined with his Violet Palace phenomenon, making him much faster. Fire elemental movement techniques had always been known for their speed. Coupled with the fact that the Scarlet Lawn Fire Escape was a legacy of the Zhou family, it was obviously extremely profound. Right now, the Vermilion Bird Fire Escape's speed could be considered above average among level 4 movement techniques. After all, he had modified it in a hurry. There were still many areas where it was lacking. It was still a distance away from the best movement techniques. In addition, he also cultivated the Gu family's Flood Dragon Escape. Fighting in the state of Zhao was inseparable from water. His Cloud Mist Escape could not compare to the Flood Dragon Escape in water. He did not modify the Flood Dragon Escape. After all, he did not have the Water Dragon phenomenon. The Azure Dragon was of the wood attribute. Although it had no problems in water because it was a dragon, it was not good at controlling water. The Black Tortoise was not known for its speed. No matter how he modified the Flood Dragon Escape, it would not be of much use to him. Zhou walked over from the backyard. "Administrator, you've come to work again." The Zhao family and the 3 sects had a decisive battle in the 3 River Market. The Zhao family was defeated, and the 3 sects also suffered heavy losses. Only 4 Golden Core cultivators of the Zhao family escaped back to the Wanchuan market. After that, there seemed to be internal strife, and the long-legged prince was forced to abdicate. Zhao Jinghua and the others are preparing to welcome the 9th prince to the throne. They will probably send someone to contact you. Wang Daoyuan smiled. "How can it be so easy for me to make a move? Right now it's still hard to say whether the 2 sides are strong or weak. Let's play dumb and see whether the 2 sides are strong or weak. Moreover, our Wang family is not involved now. Both sides want to rope us in. Right now we're waiting for the best price. How can we easily declare our position? Right, what's Zhao Jinghua's background? Does he have any minor divine abilities? According to the previous intelligence, this person is extremely strong. I'm afraid he's not much weaker than Master before he broke through to the half-step Yuanying." Zhou shook her head. "He stays in Linhai all year round. Blood Shadow doesn't have many records of him making a move. We only know that when the Zhao family was destroyed he was already one with the sword before he was even 100 years old. He was a sword cultivator genius second only to the swordless Taoist. As for whether he has any minor divine abilities, there's no way to know. Soon, the 12th uncle sent a letter saying that the Zhao family had come to visit. The visitor was a late-stage Zifu cultivator who claimed to be the nephew of the Linhai king. He wanted to see Wang Daoyuan. Naturally, he would not receive a late-stage Zifu cultivator. He just had the 12th uncle chat with him and send him off. Before Zhuge Liang came out of the mountains, Liu Bei had to visit him 3 times. How could it be so easy to get him to surrender with the administrator's estate? If he didn't put on airs, it would be difficult to ask for a price. In less than 2 days, the underworld sect's vice lord, Gu Wangzong, personally came to visit Yuchuan Peak. Wang Daoyuan had long expected that the underworld sect would come. After the Battle of the Three River Market, the underworld sect's assets were almost exhausted. At this time they naturally wanted to rope in their nominal subordinate force. In order to let the Zhao family know that the underworld sect came to rope him in, Wang Daoyuan personally rode a cloud outside the mountain to welcome Gu Wangzong. He invited him to his own hall and asked, "Gu Daoyu, if there's anything just send a message. The battle outside is not over yet. Why do you take the risk?" Gu Wangzong cupped his hands and said, "After the Battle of the Three River Market, our underworld sect suffered heavy losses. I'm afraid that in the future we will become the weakest sect. Grand Elder, please disregard the past and return to the underworld sect to strengthen the sect." Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "Yan'an County has never left the underworld sect. Daoyu, don't worry. The stability of Zhao is what I want to see. If the underworld sect declines, my Yan'an County is no match for the cruel Sun Palace." Gu Wangzong didn't talk about anything serious. He had been talking about the hundreds of years of friendship between the Wang family and the underworld sect. It seemed that the situation of the underworld sect was really bad. Luo Jiuyo, that insidious villain, panicked and sent Gu Wangzong to rope in their relationship. One would not hit a smiling person. Wang Daoyuan naturally laughed along with him. Anyway, the longer they talked, the more anxious the Zhao family would be. They would have to offer a higher price to rope him in. After all, the position of Yan'an County was too important. If the Wang family continued to follow the underworld sect, the Zhao family's forces in Shanbei, Ovliu, and Wanchuan Market would be divided into 3 parts. After talking for 4 or 5 hours, Gu Wangzong planned to leave. Wang Daoyuan rode a cloud and sent him 100 miles west of Yuchuan Peak. Chapter 609. The Wang family could negotiate with the Zhao family and the underworld sect slowly, but they couldn't make a decision. Choosing who to cooperate with depended not only on which side offered the highest price, but also on the situation at Wuxia Pass. After the Three River Market Square battle, the 3 sects' assets were almost all revealed. The people left in the hinterland of Zhao State were not difficult to deal with, but there were still 15 golden core cultivators at Wuxia Pass. Among them there were 5 from the Netherworld sect. 4 of them were at the late stage of the golden core realm, and 1 was at the middle stage. There were 7 people from the Thousand Spirits sect. 5 of them were in the late stage of the golden elixir realm and 2 were in the middle stage. There were 3 people from the remnant Sun Palace, 2 in the late golden core realm and 1 in the middle golden core realm. Most of the cultivators of the underworld sect and myriad spirit sect had grade 4 refined corpses and spirit beasts. Of course, their fighting ability was slightly weaker. The strength of an ordinary 4th level upper grade spirit beast was not comparable to that of a late stage golden core human cultivator. Previously, the late golden core cultivator of the myriad spirit sect and his spirit beast were only able to fight to a draw with a single Zhao family member. The late golden core cultivators of the myriad spirit sect and their spirit beasts were only on par with cultivators of the same level as them, roughly at the level of Lord Waterfront. Although he couldn't compare to 2 cultivators of the same level, he was still stronger than Gu Qingfeng, who was a cultivator of the same level. Wang Daoyuan estimated that his strength was about the same as Zhao Lingjiang's if he used a lesser divine ability and did not expose his spiritual fire. He was better than Lord Linhai, but not as good as Long-Legged Prince and not as good as Zhao Jinghua. Together with the Red-Winged Crow, they had the combat power of 2 Lord Linhai. The golden core cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace were not weak in battle. The late-stage golden core cultivators of the Thousand Spirits sect and the cruel Sun Palace at Wuxia Pass were as strong as Lord Linhai. 2 golden core middle-stage cultivators from the Myriad Spirit sect and a spirit beast, their strength was about the same as the red-feathered crow. The mid-stage golden core cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace were slightly weaker. They were at Gu Changqing's level. The three of them together could barely be counted as two Lord Linhai's combat strength. As for the underworld sect, except for Zhong Xinyang, the others could not display the strength of a late-stage golden core cultivator in front of the Zhao family. Zhong Xinyang had a minor divine ability, so it was hard to say whether he was strong or weak. Different minor divine abilities would increase one's strength differently. The 5 people from the underworld sect added together could be counted as 3 times the combat power of Lord Linhai. He also had to consider Taoist Master Xianming and Taoist Master Yulong. The spiritual beasts they raised had high bloodlines, so their strength naturally surpassed ordinary spiritual beasts. The 2 of them, together with their spirit beasts, were definitely stronger than the current Wang Daoyuan. Even if they were not as strong as Zhao Jingwa, they should not be weaker than the 6th prince. The Tier 4 flying warship on the other hand was gone. These things were all bought from the Divine Weapon Pavilion and could not be hidden from others. The 6 flying warships that had appeared earlier were all the Tier 4 flying warships of the 3 sects. Now only 3 remained. If the cultivators of the 3 sects at Wuqing Pass could come back unscathed, together with the cultivators left behind to guard the place, there would be 17 to 18 times the fighting strength of Lord Linhai. If the 3 sects hadn't emptied their coffers, then it would be even more than that. Even if the Zhao family had a lot of backup plans, it was unlikely that they could gather so many late-stage golden core cultivators. Under such circumstances, the Wang family naturally could not side with the Zhao family. However, it was impossible for Song Yan to let the cultivators of the 3 sects leave safely. There would definitely be casualties. The Wang family's stance depended on how many cultivators of the 3 sects could come back. After seeing off Gu Wangzong, Wang Daoyuan returned to the underground cave residence and asked Zhou Wan, "What's the situation at Wuqing Pass?" Zhou Wan replied, "The 2 sides are still fighting a tug-of-war behind Wuqing Pass. No golden core cultivators have appeared. However, since the Zhao family began to move against the 3 River Market half a month ago, there seems to be some movement in the Song Kingdom as well. Some important industries have been heavily guarded. The Blood Shadow branch in the Song Kingdom speculated that Song Yan might have mobilized the golden core cultivators hidden in the Song Kingdom." Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Then let's play dumb for a while longer. We'll talk about it after the Wuqing Pass." At this time, an early-stage golden core cultivator and a late-stage Zifu cultivator left for Wanchuan Market in Green Willow Province. Half a day later, the early-stage golden core cultivator returned to Green Willow Province. Early the next morning, 3 cultivators wearing spirit restriction silk cloaks left Green Willow Province on their swords and headed for Wanchuan Market. Lord Linhai led the 3 to the 6th prince's palace. At this time, the 6th prince was wearing a blue dragon robe and a crown of 12 heads. He was sitting high above. Zhao Jingwa held the Mountain River seal in his hand while Zhao Lingjiang held a silk book in his hand. They stood on either side of the throne. The cultivators of Linhai Province sat on either side of the throne. The 3 cloaked cultivators took off their cloaks and bowed to the 6th prince. "Greetings, Your Majesty. We are Zhao Lingxiao, Shi Zhizhong and Wu Mingjue." The 9th prince's appearance was quite similar to the 6th prince's. He had long eyebrows, bright eyes, a sharp nose and a big mouth. However, there was less viciousness in his eyes and more resoluteness. The 6th prince's voice trembled. "9th brother, Heong Commandery Duke, Linchuan Marquis, please rise." Then Zhao Lingjiang opened the silk book in his hand and began to read. This silk book was the 6th prince's abdication edict. The edict was written in the 6th prince's tone. At the end it was self-criticism. He said that he couldn't inherit the ancestral temple and would abdicate the throne to his 9th brother, Zhao Lingxiao. He hoped that he could restore the foundation of his ancestors and revitalize the state of Zhao. The 9th prince bowed and refused to accept the edict. Lord Linhai, Shi Zhizhong, and Wu Mingjue bowed to the 9th prince and asked him to accept the edict. Zhao Lingjiang and the cultivators of Linhai province bowed and asked the 9th prince to leave. The 6th prince walked down from the throne and put the crown on the 9th prince's head. He took off his dragon robe and put it on the 9th prince. He bowed and said, "I'm incompetent and can't restore the state of Zhao. Brother, please take the foundation of your ancestors as the most important thing and inherit the throne." After the 9th prince put on his dragon robe and crown, he helped the 6th prince up. The 3 sects rebelled and the foundation of the Zhao clan was destroyed. "I have no choice but to shoulder this heavy burden. In the future, when the state is restored, I'll return it to you." Zhao Jingwa handed the seal of mountains and rivers to the 9th prince. He bowed and received it with both hands. Then he walked to the throne with the seal of mountains and rivers and accepted the worship of the officials. The abdication of an emperor required many days of politeness and persuasion. They were just making do with what they had and went through the process with little effort. Afterward, Lord Linhai reported to Zhao Lingxiao about the current strength of the Zhao clan. Including Zhao Lingyan, there were only 5 late-stage golden core cultivators of the Zhao clan. There were 3 late-stage golden core cultivators and 3 mid-stage golden core cultivators in Linhai province. Shi Zhizhong also reported the strength of Zhao Lingxiao's forces. There were 3 late-stage golden core cultivators and 2 mid-stage golden core cultivators. Zhao Lingyan and the 3 late-stage golden core cultivators of Linhai province were inferior to Lord Linhai. At most they were 12 or 13 times stronger than Lord Linhai. Among them, the 6th prince was an unstable factor. Overall, there was still a big gap between them and the 3 sections. Lord Linhai asked, "Your Majesty, may I ask what our next step is? Are we going to attack the 3-river market again? Knowing this, I can make preparations in advance." Zhao Lingxiao shook his head. "We can't act rashly. Once we take the 3-river market, Song State will capture Wuqing Pass. At that time, it will be completely impossible for us to unify Zhao State. We'd better attack the other industries of the 3 sects first and consume their strength. I've been training cultivators in Linhai province for more than 100 years and recruited many people. I've been training soldiers for more than 100 years. It's time for them to take action. In addition, we have to rope in the Wang clan. I've sent people to contact Wang Daoyuan before. He's also interested in helping the Zhao clan. They've done business for more than 100 years. However, when he received Gu Wangzong of the underworld sect with great fanfare, he probably hasn't made up his mind yet. What he's waiting for is not only our offer, but also the outcome of the battle at Wuqing Pass. I'll send people to keep in touch with the Wang clan and find out his background. Lord Linhai, gather as many resources as possible from Linhai province. As for the others, recuperate from your injuries. If you can improve your strength in a short time, do so as soon as possible to prepare for the decisive battle in the future." Everyone cupped their hands in acknowledgement and went to make preparations. Chapter 610. The people of Linhai Prefecture and the Duke of Linhai left. In order to avoid embarrassment, the 6th prince also got up and left. Only the 3 people of the Zhao clan, Shi Zhizhong and Wu Mingjue, were left in the meeting hall. Zhao Lingxiao ordered, "County Duke Heong, tell Shi Zhenbang to talk to Wang Daoyuan again. As long as the Wang clan sets things right, I will infect the entire Qingli prefecture to the Wang clan and keep Jinyan City. Wang Daoyuan himself will be conferred the title of County Prince Qingli, like the Duke of Linhai, hereditary. Marquis Linchuan, go back to Green Willow Prefecture and bring half of the subordinates we have trained here. Remember, take them away from the edge of Tianjian mountain range, so as to avoid any unpleasantness with the Wang clan." The 2 bowed and said, "Yes, Your Majesty." Wang Daoyuan studied his minor divine arts in the underground cave of Yuchuan Peak. He had already mastered the escape technique, so without some tempering, it would be difficult to improve. The best way to improve his methods was to study the combination of minor divine arts and other methods. 3 days later, news came from the 12th uncle. When the cultivators of the Demon Execution Department were hunting demon beasts, they found more than 20 rank 3 flying warships in Green Willow Prefecture, flying towards Wanchuan Market. However, the flying warships did not enter Yan'an Prefecture, but went south along the edge of Tianjian mountain range. Wang Daoyuan did not find it strange. Previously, Zhou Luan had sent news that the Zhao clan had a new emperor. The 9th prince had ascended the throne, so he naturally had to pull some of his subordinates over. They did not enter the Wang clan's territory, so Wang Daoyuan naturally did not care about this matter. Soon, news came from the small market of Jingtai Mountain that Shi Zhenbang wanted to see him. Wang Daoyuan did not plan to hide anymore. At this time there was no need. He directly let Shi Zhenbang come to Yuchuan Peak and personally receive him outside Yuchuan Peak like how he received Gu Wangzong. Shi Zhenbang followed Wang Daoyuan into the hall. After sitting down, he went straight to the point. "Administrator, now that His Highness the 9th Prince has ascended the throne, he is willing to confer you the title of County Prince Qingli. Your position is the same as the Duke of Linhai, hereditary. The entire Qingli County plus Jinyan City is your fief. I wonder when Your Highness, when will you mobilize your troops and join His Majesty in exterminating the 3 sects?" Wang Daoyuan replied, "I'll say this first. If Your Highness the 9th Prince is the leader, and the Zhao family strength is about the same as the 3 sects, I will naturally help the Zhao family. If the difference in strength is too great, I can only protect my family. Now the cultivators left behind by the three sects were not weak. Even if the Zhao family attacked now, they would not be able to completely defeat the three sections. There were still 15 golden core stage cultivators left at the Wuxia Pass. It was still unknown who was stronger. It's still too early to talk about this. Shi Zhenbang knew that Wang Daoyuan wanted to see which way the wind was blowing, and also knew his attitude towards the Zhao clan. Thus, Shi Zhenbang's mission was completed. Following that, the two of them chatted idly and even discussed some matters regarding cultivation. After chatting for 12 hours, Shi Zhenbang finally took his leave. Wang Daoyuan still sent him off 100 miles away. The next day, the Netherworld sect could no longer sit still. Gu Wangzong came over again and chatted with Wang Daoyuan for a long time. As long as Wang Daoyuan was willing to send troops to attack the Zhao family, the Netherworld sect could also include the northern part of the Heian County into the Yan'an County's sphere of influence. Moreover, after destroying the Zhao family, the territory near the Wanchuan market could also be included in the Yan'an County. Wang Daoyuan patted his chest and guaranteed that there would be no problem. He immediately began to gather people. After chatting for a few hours, Gu Wangzong was sent away. As soon as Gu Wangzong left, Wang Daoyuan asked the 12th uncle to send people to occupy the northern part of the Heian County. The cultivators of the families in the northern part of the Heian County were all captured by the 6th prince's people as scapegoats. More than half of those people were killed in the attack on the Three River Market. The rest of them were atoning for their crimes and had not yet returned. Only some rogue cultivators were taking advantage of the situation. After the cultivators of the administrator's mansion drove away the rogue cultivators, they built the guardian's mansion in the Heiyun Lake Market. Previously, the Li family and other families had sent their disciples to join the administrator's mansion as rogue cultivators. Now, Wang Daoyuan appointed them to guard the Heiyun Lake Market and stabilize the situation here. It only took the administrator's mansion a day to completely control the entire northern part of the Heian County. The benefits promised by the Netherworld sect had already been taken. As for sending troops, they still had to gather people, didn't they? The people who were sent to rescue the mysterious crystal mine had not been gathered yet. This matter could not be rushed. Wang Daoyuan only took the benefits but did not do anything, which made the Netherworld sect very angry. But now they had to ask him for help, so they had no ability to do anything to Wang Daoyuan. After being tricked by him, the Netherworld sect still welcomed him with a smile. However, they had also learned to be smart. They no longer gave actual benefits but blindly painted a pie in the sky. This made Wang Daoyuan feel a little regretful that he could not cheat the Netherworld sect anymore. At this moment, Zhou received news from the Wuxia Pass. The Song Kingdom should have known that the three sects had suffered heavy losses in almost all their assets. They no longer wanted to slowly exhaust the three sects' cultivators. Instead, they wanted to defeat the three sects in one battle and then kill their way into the hinterland of the Zhao Kingdom, lest the Zhao family's cultivators unified the Zhao Kingdom. Then they would have no legitimate reason to annex the Zhao Kingdom's territory. The Song Kingdom directly sent a 4th-grade flying warship to the north of the Wuxia Pass to suppress the three sects' cultivators in an attempt to completely block the logistical route between the Wuxia Pass and the Zhao Kingdom. The three sects' cultivators originally wanted to exhaust the Song Kingdom. When the Song Kingdom could not afford it, they would naturally retreat. The Zhao family would not be able to take down the three sects' mountain gates in a short time. No matter how big the trouble was, the three sects would not be destroyed. The Zhao family's cultivators used the old family's cultivators as scapegoats, which made the three sects' cultivators overjoyed. If the Zhao family wiped out these families, they would not have to worry about the old family seizing power. However, the battle at the Three River Market had made them somewhat afraid. This had already shaken the three sects' foundation. Moreover, the cultivators left behind to guard the Zhao family had taken out all their assets, but they still could not completely eliminate the Zhao family. If this continued, the three sects would really be in danger of being destroyed. The Song Kingdom's cultivators acted like they were cutting off their retreat route, forcing them to fight a decisive battle. At this moment, they had no other choice. Even if they had to give up their territory to seek peace, they had to hurt the Song Kingdom. The battle soon erupted. The Thousand Spirit Sect's cultivators took the lead. They sent out spirit birds to destroy the flying warships. They used the advantage of the spirit bird's speed to restrain the flying warships. Since they were going to fight a battle between Golden Core cultivators, they had to hide their strength as much as possible. Whoever revealed their trump cards first would be in a more passive position. The spirit bird's method of dealing with the flying warships was excellent. The flying warships of the Song Kingdom could not completely cut off the three sects' supply line. After a few days, Song Yen could no longer hold back and directly sent out golden core cultivators to deal with the spirit birds. Unfortunately, not all late-stage golden core cultivators were like the Zhao family, who could fight both humans and demonic beasts without being at a disadvantage. The Song Kingdom sent out 1 or 2 golden core cultivators, but they were defeated by the spirit birds sent out by the Thousand Spirit sect. Apart from the imperial family, the golden core cultivators of the other factions in the Song Kingdom were inferior to the three sects in terms of inheritance. Since everyone had the same cultivation, the level of inheritance had a great impact on their strength. The cultivators of the Song Kingdom were not as strong as the cultivators of the three sections. Song Yin no longer played with the strategy of adding fuel to the fire. He sent out 5 late-stage golden core cultivators to cut off the supply line. The cultivators of the three sects also knew that they could not drag this out any longer, so they decided to have a showdown with the Song Kingdom. 2 golden core cultivators were left to guard the Wuxia Pass. The other 13 attacked together and got rid of the 5 golden core cultivators of the Song Kingdom. The golden core cultivators of the Song state were prepared. Originally, Song Yen had brought 15 golden core cultivators. But now he had brought out his own backup. However, the cultivators of the three sects had refined corpses and spirit beasts. 13 cultivators, 7 spirit beasts and 5 refined corpses. They were not at a disadvantage at all. The two sides fought for an entire day. The Song Kingdom lost 5 golden core cultivators, while the Zhao Kingdom lost 3 golden core cultivators, 1 spirit beast and 1 refined corpse. The two sides were evenly matched. Song Yen was using this opportunity to exhaust the golden core cultivators of the other 5 factions of the Song Kingdom. He did not care about a few golden core cultivators dying. However, the three sects did not dare to drag this out and could only ask for peace. The two sides fought and stopped for more than a month before finally reaching an agreement. The three sects ceded the Wuxia Pass and the two sides stopped fighting. Chapter 6:11. When Wuxia Pass fell into the hands of Song would have a stable north gate. Song Yen wouldn't have to worry about the cultivators of Zhao attacking his palace when he woke up. On the contrary, it would be easy for Song Yen to invade Zhao in the future. As long as he went north from Wuxia Pass, the distance between the mountains on the east and the west would become wider and wider. There would be no more dangerous passes in the entire Wuxia County. After the two sides reached an agreement, the Ghost sect gradually withdrew their cultivators. Wang Daoyuan was a little depressed when he heard the news about Wuxia Pass. The three sects lost 3 people, 1 corpse and 1 spirit beast. The Wanling sect and the Ghost sect lost cultivators in the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. The Wanling sect and the Ghost sect both lost cultivators in the late stage of the Golden Core realm. In total they had about 2 Lord Linhai's combat capability. Now the 3 sects had at least 15 or 16 Lord Linhai's combat capability. The Wang family was embarrassed. The 3 sects' losses were not big or small, and the gap between them and the Zhao family was narrowed. But even if the Wang family joined the Zhao family, it couldn't completely make up for the gap. No one knew whether there were still people hiding on both sides. A few days later, the Golden Core realm cultivators of the 3 sects returned to their sections. Zhou Wan's intelligence agency also found out that there was one more member of the Zhao family in the Wanchuan market. This person had stayed in Song for 500 years. Wang Daoyuan knew who this person was. When he was still a foundation-building cultivator, he participated in the Battle of Wuxia Pass. At that time there was a member of the Zhao family in Song. That person's strength was not bad. He could fight with a late Golden Core realm cultivator in the Wanyang sect. The Zhao family could have one more Lord Linhai's combat capability. 3 days later, Zhou Wan's spy in the Guiyuan sword sect found another Golden Core realm cultivator. Judging from his dressing, he was from the Zhao family. Zhao Lingyan was quite respectful to him. Wang Daoyuan had long suspected that the 9th prince and the 6th prince had a backup plan in Shanbei. Zhao Lingyan and the other 2 Golden Core realm cultivators should be the 6th prince's hidden masters. This person should be the 9th prince's hidden master. The Zhao family had 2 more Lord Linhai's combat capability. The gap between the 2 sects was very small. After all, the 3 sects were 3 different families. They were not subordinate to each other. Even if a great disaster was about to befall them, it was difficult for them to work together and display their full strength. Although the Zhao clan's side was divided into the Zhao clan's main branch and Linhai state's cultivators, At least they had a common emperor and a unified command, so there wouldn't be internal friction. Even if the three sects still had some money left, there wouldn't be much left. A few big cats and small cats wouldn't affect the overall situation. With the ninth prince's ability 500 years ago, he had been able to fight the three sects for decades with people who were far weaker than them. Now that their strengths were similar, their chances of victory were very high. Now the Wang family was the chip that would decide the state of Zhao. Whichever side they chose to side with would win. Soon after, the ninth prince sent another cultivator to visit the Jade Spring Peak. This time the person who came was not Shi Zhenbang but the Heian County Duke Shi Zhizhong. This guy was a veteran golden core cultivator. His father was of the same generation as the Wang family's patriarch. Of course, in terms of seniority, it was hard to say who was higher and who was lower. The Shi family was a distant branch of the Zhou family, and Wang Daoyuan was the son-in-law of the Zhou family. In terms of seniority, Wang Daoyuan's seniority might be higher. Of course, this seniority had to be traced back to 10,000 years ago. If they were to really talk about it, there would be no end. However, he still personally welcomed Bailey and led him to the Jade Spring Peak. The 12th uncle had also returned from Qingli City and accompanied him along with his 5th uncle. Wang Daoyuan wanted to invite him to sit, but Shi Zhizhong waved his hand and said, "Little friend, there is no need for this. I am here on His Majesty's orders to invite the Wang family to deal with the rebels." The four of them sat facing each other. Wang Daoyuan asked, "Does His Highness the Ninth Prince have any rules?" Shi Zhizhong smiled and said, "His Majesty's meaning is that the Wang family's current territory will be preserved, including the northern part of Heian County. After the rebels are dealt with, the northern part of Qingli County will also belong to the Wang family. The Wang family is like the Duke of Linhai, listening to orders but not orders. In addition, His Majesty has also promised that the Zhao family has no right to interfere in all matters within Qingli County. Duke Qingli can be conferred the title of Marquis and below within the county, His Majesty will approve of it. If the previous Duke Qingli does not commit the crime of rebellion, the Zhao family will not punish him. If he commits the crime of rebellion, he will not be killed. Only Duke Qingli himself will be deposed and Qingli County will be preserved. The Wang family will choose another clansman to inherit the throne. All treatment will not change." Finishing, he smiled and looked at the three people of the Wang family. These conditions were generous enough. In the future, the Wang family would basically be a small country. Even with 5th uncle and 12th uncle's calmness, their faces revealed excitement. However, Wang Daoyuan's expression was normal. He smiled and said, "The Wang family naturally does not dare to snatch Senior's fief. Senior, please report back to the Ninth Prince. The Wang family can give up the northern part of Heian County and even Jinyan City, but I want the 100 Rivers Lake. In these 200 years, the Wang family's goal has always been the sky-beheading mountain range. If the Zhao family retains the territory in Luoyou province, the Wang family will not be able to expand in the future." Shi Zhizhong's heart was half happy and half worried. He was happy that Wang Daoyuan had offered a condition, and the price was not too outrageous. This meant that he had agreed. Moreover, Heian County was the Shi family's fief. Although they did not have much autonomy, it was still fief. The Wang family was willing to give up the northern part of Heian County and Jinyan City, which was a great bargain for the Shi family. Jinyan City did not matter as there was not much meat around it. However, the Shannon grassland in the northern part of Heian County was the place that produced the most demonic beast meat in Zhao. It was not a small industry. However, Wang Daoyuan wanted the 100 Rivers Lake in Luoyou province, which made it difficult for Shi Zhizhong. The 100 Rivers Lake and the surrounding area could support more than 200,000 wandering cultivators. There was also a secret realm under Luoyou province. Its value was much higher than the northern part of Heian County. Naturally, Shi Zhizhong did not dare to make the decision. Shi Zhizhong cupped his hands and said, "I have no authority to deal with this matter. I need to report it to His Majesty." In addition, His Majesty said that if the Wang family is willing to set things right, His Majesty will personally come to Yuchuan Peak to pay respects to Marquis Yuchuan and the Wang family members who died in battle. Previously they were talking about the inside. This time they were talking about face. The Ninth Prince personally paid respects to the Wang family members who died in battle, which could be considered as rectifying the Wang family's reputation. This would prevent people from using the underworld sect as an excuse. This was also the Zhao family's way of showing that they valued the Wang family. The other side had already taken out their face, so the Zhao family had to do something. Wang Daoyuan smiled. "If so, I can also give your Majesty a gift, which is to stab the underworld sect in the back." This stab will definitely break the hearts of the underworld sect. The move he was talking about was the Gue Water Nether Spring. As long as the Yin Chi in the Darkwater River was cut off, they could spread the news. The underworld sect was not a monolithic block. Previously, Zhong Xinyang had the intention of befriending the Wang family and leaving a way out for the Zhong family. The Yin Chi in the Darkwater River was the foundation of the underworld sect. If the Yin Chi in the Darkwater River was cut off, the underworld sect would have no future. There would be no point in guarding the underworld sect. There would definitely be golden core cultivators who would consider their own interests and contact the Zhao family. At this time, the Zhao family would offer slightly better conditions, and they might be able to attract a few golden core cultivators of the underworld sect. Shi Zhizhong was also interested. If they could really break the hearts of the underworld sect, then the strength of the three sects would be weakened by at least 10 to 20%. The Zhao family would have a clear advantage in strength. He asked curiously, "How do you do this? Little friend, tell me so I can report it to His Majesty." There was no need to hide this matter. Except for himself, no one knew how to deal with the Yin Chi. There was no harm in telling him. He smiled and said, "Cutting off the Yin Chi in the Darkwater River, Senior, do you think this move can break the hearts of the underworld sect? If after the Yin Chi is cut off, the Zhao family can let the underworld sect cultivators redeem themselves, and the effect should be better." Hearing this, Shi Zhizhong's face was full of shock. If this could really be done, it was possible to take away half of the golden core cultivators of the underworld sect. He quickly said, "Little friend, wait here for a moment. I will immediately return to the Wanchuan market and report this matter and the Wang family's request to His Majesty." After that, he did not care about hiding and directly rode a cloud to the south. Chapter 6:12. After half a day, Shi Zhizhong once again came to Yuchuan Peak. Wang Daoyuan was just about to welcome him into the hall. He waved his hand. "No need to be so polite. His Majesty has already agreed to the Wang family's request. The north of Heiyang Prefecture will be temporarily managed by the Wang family. Jingyan City will be included in Duke Qingli's territory. Baichuan Lake and the nearby areas will also be included in Qingli Prefecture. However, the country hasn't been recovered yet. His Majesty still needs Lulu Province to provide resources. When the capital is recovered, Lulu Province will be given to the Wang family. 3 days later, His Majesty will bring the Crown Prince and Minister Zong to Yuchuan Peak to pay respects to Marquis Yuchuan. At that time, he will also bring along the royal decree and robes for little friend to be Duke Qingli. However, now is a special time. Everything will be simple. Little friend, please don't be offended." Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "It's all right. Right now, we should prioritize the restoration of our country." After exchanging some pleasantries, Shi Zhizhong left Yuchuan Peak with the excuse that he had important matters to attend to. After the Three River Market Square was defeated, the Zhao family lost more than half of their cultivators. Most of the families that were forced to surrender went back into the arms of the three sections. The Zhao family's resources mainly came from Linhai Prefecture. Lulu Province was also an important logistics base. Naturally, they couldn't hand it over to the Wang family now. The north of Heiyang Prefecture was given to the Wang family as a mortgage. After the Wang family gets Lulu Province, they will return the north of Heiyang Prefecture. As for the rights of giving land, they didn't care. As long as the royal decree was in their hands, they would have a reason to take over these territories. Wang Daoyuan wasn't afraid that they wouldn't acknowledge it. With the remaining power of the Zhao family, even after recovering the Zhao country, they could barely maintain it. Song had already taken down Wuqing Pass. However, after years of war, they lost a lot of manpower. Qi Chu and Wu were also eyeing them from behind. They didn't want to fight to the death with the three sects and let the Zhao family take advantage of them. With Song Yan's personality, once he recovers, he will still attack Zhao. The normal people and low-level cultivators of the Zhao family were all wiped out 500 years ago. Right now, the place with the most Zhao family members was Linhai State. The Zhao family did not have enough ordinary clansmen and low-level cultivators to support them. After the current golden core cultivators passed away, they could not be quickly replenished. For a long time to come, the number of golden core cultivators would slowly decrease. Only with enough ordinary clansmen could there be more cultivator clansmen. Only when there were enough cultivators could there be more clansmen with extraordinary talent and the potential to form their gold core. It would take at least 1,000 years to restore the number of ordinary clansmen and low-level cultivators to what it was before the rebellion of the three sections. By the same logic, It would take thousands of years for the number of Aura's core cultivators to return to its previous level. Before this, the Zhao family could only rely on the various nobles to help protect the Zhao country. Once the Zhao family went back on their word, the nobles with different surnames might become disloyal, and there might even be internal strife. The Zhao family couldn't afford to pay such a price. After Wang Daoyuan obtained the medical legacy from the Zhou nation, the Wang family had developed rapidly over the years. The number of ordinary clansmen had already exceeded 500,000. There were already more than 1,200 cultivators. In the future, as their territory expanded, the growth rate of their clansmen would also become faster and faster. 1,000 years later, it wasn't certain who would be afraid of whom. Wang Daoyuan ordered the clansmen to start preparing for the worship in 3 days. 3 days later, a flying warship and 2 flying boats took off from Wanchuan Market and headed towards Yuchuan Peak. When they were 100 miles south of Yuchuan Peak, the 9th prince, dressed in royal robes, stepped off the flying warship and personally rode a cloud towards Yuchuan Peak. This was the etiquette of a golden core cultivator visiting a mountain. It was enough to give the Wang family face. He was accompanied by Zhao Jinghua and an early-stage golden core cultivator. This person's appearance was quite similar to the 9th prince. He was a mid-stage golden core cultivator. He didn't look old and didn't have any obvious signs of decay. He also wore royal robes and a crown on his head. This was the attire of the crown prince. He should be the 9th prince's eldest son, Zhao Qingxian. Wang Daoyuan, 5th granduncle and 12th uncle also came out of the mountain to welcome them. They bowed to the 3 of them and said, "Your Majesty, Your Highness the Crown Prince." As golden core cultivators, Wang Daoyuan and 12th uncle didn't need to kneel. 5th granduncle was a late-stage Violet Palace realm cultivator, so he still needed to kneel. However, the 9th prince waved his hand and said, "There's no need to be so polite." Wang Daoyuan and the other 2 led the way at the front. The warship was parked 100 miles away. 2 flying boats with offerings on them followed at the back. When they arrived at Yuchuan Peak, a dozen or so Violet Palace realm cultivators of the Zhao clan alighted from the flying boat and carried all kinds of offerings. At the very front was a pig, a cow and a sheep. They were all 3rd-grade low-grade demon beasts. The 9th prince and the other 2 entered the Wang family's ancestral shrine. The Zhao clan members behind them placed the offerings on the table. Zhao Jinghua read the memorial speech and praised the contributions of the Wang clan's ancestor and the Wang clan members who died in battle. After the ceremony, Zhao Jinghua read the edict conferring Wang Daoyuan the title of Duke Qingli in front of the Wang clan's ancestral shrine. The Zhao clan had lost almost all of its members. The only cultivator familiar with the etiquette was Zhao Jinghua. Thus, these matters were all left to him. After the edict was read, a few Violet Palace realm cultivators of the Zhao clan walked out from the 2 flying boats. They held the imperial edict in their hands, a yellow book that recorded the population and land. Of course, this yellow book was empty. The Zhao clan had been lost for more than 500 years. They knew nothing of the situation in the Qingli prefecture. There was also a white robe and a 9-headed crown. The crown was mainly black with golden decorations. The 9-headed crown had 9 strings of jade beads at the front and back, each string having 9 jade beads. The emperor's 12 strings each had 12 jade beads. Behind it was the white jade royal seal and a high-grade 3rd-grade longsword. Its name was Duke Qingli's sword. These 2 items represented authority. The last item was the red ink iron certificate. It was shaped like a tile. It was 1 foot tall, 2 feet long and 1 inch thick. It was forged from 4th-grade low-grade black jade iron, and the words on it were embedded with 4th-grade low-grade silverlight iron. In addition to the content of the words, there was also a record of the 9th prince's promise. It was a certificate. Several members of the Zhao clan put the robe on Wang Daoyuan. Zhao Jinghua personally put on the crown for him and hung the Duke Qingli's sword. Finally, the Zhao emperor personally bestowed the royal seal and the red ink iron certificate. The ceremony was over. Except for the 9th prince and Zhao Qingxian, everyone else bowed to Wang Daoyuan. Then 2 more groups of people walked down from the 2 flying boats. They were holding all kinds of ceremonial items, all of which were level 3 artifacts. This set of items was the honor of the county king. In the Green Willow province, it was impossible to have the duke's honor. It was most likely taken from the Duke of Linhai. After the ceremony was over, Wang Daoyuan led the Zhao clan to the auditorium. Everyone sat down in the manner of a ruler and a subject. The Zhao emperor asked, "I heard the River Sun Duke say that the duke can cut off the Yin Qi of the Netherworld sect." Oh. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, Reporting to your majesty from the travels of an ancient Jindan cultivator, this subject learned about the source of the Yin Qi of Mingshui River. When this subject was still a foundation establishment cultivator, I went to search for treasures and left some things there. At that time the Yin Qi of the Netherworld sect disappeared for a few years. The higher-ups of the Netherworld sect pretended that there was a high-grade spirit medicine that needed pure Yin Qi to nourish. They asked the affiliated families to help find a place with pure Yin Qi. The Zhao Emperor nodded. I heard about this matter. At that time I guessed that there might be a problem with the Mingshui River. I didn't expect it to be the Duke's doing. Wang Daoyuan continued, this subject can lead the source of the Yin Qi elsewhere. At that time the Mingshui River will never have Yin Qi. The Zhao Emperor asked with satisfaction, when can the Yin Qi of the Mingshui River be cut off? Wang Daoyuan replied, Your Majesty only needs to give me 3 days. However, I can now release the news that the Yin Qi of the Mingshui River is about to disappear. In this way the deterrent effect on the Jindan cultivators of the Netherworld sect will be stronger. The Zhao Emperor stroked his long beard. The Duke is really thoughtful. With such a wonderful plan, it won't take long for the people of the Netherworld sect to panic. By the way, I have several granddaughters of the Zifu realm. They are just over 100 years old. I don't know if the Duke has the intention to marry? Chapter 613. Wang Daoyuan muttered in his heart, this Emperor Zhao is not honest. He just gave me the title of Duke and now he wants to kill me with a borrowed knife. With Zhou Wan's jealousy, not to mention marrying a wife, even marrying a concubine would result in his death. However, not marrying the Zhao clan is not realistic. The Wang clan has so much autonomy. If they don't marry the Zhao clan they won't be at ease. The good thing about having many people in the clan is that they have many shields. It's not like no one in the Wang clan is worthy of Emperor Zhao's Zifu granddaughter. For example, little uncle Wang Shoujia and grandnephew Wang Mingshan are both in the Zifu realm. In terms of formations and alchemy, they are both in the Zifu realm. Marrying the Zhao clan's granddaughter is a bit lacking, but marrying a concubine's child is not a problem. Moreover, the best candidate for the next clan head is Wang Mingshan. His marriage with the Zhao clan is also more suitable. As for Duke Qingli's heir, it's naturally his son. Duke Qingli's estate can't completely overlap with the clan. There has to be a distinction between inside and outside. In the future, his line will be in charge of the Duke's estate. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands and said, Your Majesty, I have no intention of marrying at the moment. However, Wang clan's grand elder Wang Mingshan is the great-grandson of my brother in the secular world. He is now 160 years old. When he opened his Zifu, the jade-scaled flood dragon phenomenon appeared. He is also a third-stage alchemist. For both public and private reasons, I will do my best to nurture him into core formation. I wonder if Your Majesty is interested in him? Emperor Zhao stroked his long beard and said with a smile, the jade-scaled flood dragon phenomenon is also a good seedling for core formation. He is also a close blood relative of the Duke and a third-stage alchemist. He is enough for my granddaughter. When the war is over, the marriage will be bestowed. What does the Duke think about the future war? Should we attack the Three-River Market or attack the important industries first to exhaust the three sects' strength? This is to test Wang Daoyuan's knowledge and see how capable he is. Wang Daoyuan replied, In my opinion the Three-River Market cannot be rashly attacked. The Three-River Market is at the intersection of the three sects' territories and is not far from the old capital of Zhao. His Majesty's prestige in the old family is extremely high. If we capture this place, we will be able to recover the old capital. The old families under the three sects will have thoughts of returning to our side. It was so obvious that the three sects could naturally see it. The moment we touch the Three-River Market, the three sects will definitely fight us with all their might. Now both sides were equally matched. Once the final battle began, even if they won, they would suffer heavy casualties. They would no longer be able to take down the three sects, and they would not be able to complete the great task of reviving their country. If Song and Wei were to attack again, the state of Zhao would be in danger. Right now, in terms of the top fighters on both sides, we have His Majesty Minister Zong and the Sixth Prince. On the side of the three sects, Daoist Jinyang of the Cruel Sun Palace was heavily injured, and the Cruel Sun Sword was also severely damaged. Only Zhong Jinyang of the Underworld sect and Immortal Yulong of the Thousand Spirits sect were the two top combatants. If it had been at the Three-River Market, the Underworld Water Black Turtle of the Thousand Spirits sect would have been much more powerful and would have been able to withstand His Majesty's Seal of Mountains and Rivers. Even Zhong Jingqing would find it difficult to take it down in the Three-River Market. The three sects only have 3 top combatants. Our advantage would be gone and we would not necessarily be able to win. Hearing this, the Zhao Emperor was somewhat doubtful. Taoist Jin Yang and Immortal Yulong are very powerful. This I know. Even Imperial Uncle could not easily defeat them. But Zhong Xinyang has always been unknown. Where is his strength? Wang Daoyuan replied, at that time, Zhong Xinyang came to the Jade Spring Peak and wanted me to go to Wuqing Pass, but I refused. At that time he had the intention of leaving a way out for the Zhong family, and he also revealed that he had a minor divine ability. Minor divine abilities are also divided into strong and weak ones. Even I dare not confirm Zhong Xinyang's true strength. Zhao Jinghua opened his mouth. I have not comprehended a minor divine ability. If Zhong Xinyang's minor divine ability is more powerful, I really would not be able to defeat him. This time it was Wang Daoyuan's turn to be surprised. He had not comprehended a minor divine ability, yet he had this kind of strength. If he comprehended a minor divine ability in a battle of the same level, perhaps his strength would be above master. The Zhao Emperor asked, since this Zhong Xinyang has the intention of leaving a way out, can we rope him in? Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, this is what this subject wants to report to His Majesty. In this subject's opinion, this time to pacify the 3 sects, we cannot rely on brute force. We must also divide the 3 sections. This subject will cut off the yin qi of the Netherworld River, making the hearts of the people of the Netherworld sect unstable. His Majesty will then allow the cultivators of the 3 sects to redeem themselves, which can indeed move the Zhong family. But to make Zhong Xinyang directly join us, it is still a bit lacking. We can attack the 9 underworld mysterious crystal mine again, and with the help of this fire. The yin qi of the Netherworld sect only comes from the Netherworld River and the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. After cutting off the Netherworld River, the Netherworld sect will never give up this place. The Netherworld sect alone will definitely not be able to defend it. They must ask for help from the other 2 sections. After all, the 3 sects are not monolithic. The Myriad Spirit sect and the Cruel Sun Palace will inevitably rely on the Netherworld sect to exhaust our thoughts. We will then send out low-level cultivators to harass the industries of the other 2 sects, so that they will not dare to pull most of the Golden Core cultivators to the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. In this way we can maintain our advantage over the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine and slowly exhaust the Golden Core cultivators of the 3 sections. When our Golden Core cultivators have a greater advantage, we will directly take the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine and force the Netherworld sect to surrender. When the Netherworld sect surrenders, our strength will be far superior to the other 2 sections. When the time comes, we can recruit them and at least poach a few Golden Core cultivators. In this way, after quelling the rebellion, the strength of our Zhao state will be able to maintain an advantage over the Song and Wei states. It will be enough to make the other 2 countries not dare to rashly invade the state of Zhao and buy time for the state of Zhao to recover its strength. After a few hundred years of stable development, the state of Zhao will be able to restore the strength of a first-rate country. Hearing this, the Zhao Emperor's face was difficult to conceal the excitement on his face. If so, then the recovery of the state of Zhao and the revival of the glory of our ancestors is just around the corner. As for the matter of recruiting the Netherworld sect, I will have to trouble the Duke. You can make any promises to the cultivators of the 3 sections. As long as they can abandon the darkness and join the light, I will let bygones be bygones and give them spiritual mountains to establish their families. If they can turn the tables and strike back, they will be bestowed with titles and lands, and can even be given a dukedom. The Zhao Emperor's magnanimity was not something the 6th prince could compare to. He could even promise a dukedom to the Golden Core cultivators of the 3 sects who had a grudge against the extermination of their clans. As for the 6th prince, he could only promise a marquis to the Wang family. Wang Daoyuan bowed and saluted. This subject obeys the duke's orders. The Zhao Emperor nodded. The matter of cutting off the yin qi of the Netherworld River will be handed over to the Duke. I will return to the Wanchuan market first and start spreading rumors to harass the businesses of the 3 sections. Wang Daoyuan and the other 2 escorted the Zhao Emperor and the Zhao family to the south of the Jade Spring Peak before returning to the Jade Spring Peak. On the flying warship, the Zhao Emperor asked the Crown Prince, Qingxian, what do you think of Duke Qingli's plan? Why didn't we think of it? Zhao Qingxian pondered for a moment before answering. This plan seems simple, but it is indeed very effective. The most important part of this plan is to be able to cut off the yin qi of the Netherworld River. If we can't do this, the Netherworld sect can completely ignore our attack on the 9 underworld mysterious crystal mine. No matter how many plans we have, it will be difficult to implement. We don't know how to cut off the yin qi of the Netherworld River, and we don't know the internal situation of the Netherworld sect. It is normal that we can't think of this plan. If Duke Qingli's plan succeeds, our Zhao family will lose less than half of our golden core cultivators. Otherwise, even if our Zhao family succeeds in reviving the country, it will be difficult to defend our foundation. With the price of a county in Qingli County, the Zhao family can revive the country. Moreover, Qingli County can help us block the beast tide of the sky-chopping mountain range. We won't lose out. The Zhao Emperor's face revealed a gratified expression. I am very gratified that you can see this point. At least after reviving the country, you can defend the foundation of your ancestors. We all know the situation of the administrator's residence. Wang Daoyuan is not a person who is greedy for power. His thoughts should be on cultivation. His connections are very wide, so we must not suppress him. On the contrary, we can use his relationship with the Divine Weapon Pavilion to buy more high-level magic tools and strengthen the Zhao family. When he is gone, our Zhao family will be able to catch a breather. At that time, with our Zhao family's inheritance, the Wang family will naturally not dare to act rashly. Chapter 6:14. After sending off the Zhao family, Wang Daoyuan gave the 12th uncle the task of changing the Wang family. Actually, it wasn't a big deal. Changing the name of the original administrator's residence to the Duke's residence was enough. He just told the families in his jurisdiction that in the future, Yan'an County would be changed back to Qingli County. Wang Daoyuan would be conferred the title of Duke by the Zhao family and would have the power to confer the title of Marquis in Qingli County. This was also to tell the families that those who were obedient had the possibility of being conferred the title of Marquis in the future. Those who were disobedient would die immediately. Ever since that year, the families didn't dare to go against the administrator's residence. These families weren't the filial sons and grandsons of the Netherworld sect. The old families were already dissatisfied with the Netherworld sect. The foreign families treated their milk as their mother and wouldn't have any loyalty to the Netherworld sect. Once the Duke's residence's order was sent out, the families immediately stated that they would obey the Duke's residence's orders and draw a clear line with the Netherworld sect. Also, they sent people to take over the territory in the southern part of Qingli County. That place had been swept by the sixth prince, and now many of the spiritual mountains were empty. It was a waste to leave it empty like this. It was better to send people to take it. The more valuable spiritual mountains would be left for their families and the less valuable ones would be left for their subordinates. After dealing with these matters, Wang Daoyuan returned to the underground cave. Zhou Luan saw his royal robe and smiled. People rely on clothes, horses rely on saddles, dogs run happily with bells. Wearing this outfit, you really do look like a dog. I say, Hallmaster, you praise people with a stick? Zhou Luan mocked and ridiculed. Does the county king find my words unpleasant? Then why didn't you marry the Zhao family's granddaughter? That's a princess, a county princess. She's perfect as a Wang Fei. Wang Daoyuan smiled. You're still so jealous. What princess, county princess can't compare to Hall Master? You're the Wang Fei of Qingli County. Then what about my phoenix coronet and robe? The outside world doesn't know of your existence? The Zhao family is already in this situation. It's already not bad that they can gather my coronet. After the country was restored, the phoenix coronet and robes would naturally be sent over. Besides, when the princess consort came out into the open, there was no need for the state of Zhao to give her a phoenix coronet. That eldest nephew of mine will definitely send you the phoenix coronet and robe. Most likely, the Zhou Emperor will also give you the title of princess or infanta. Let's not talk about these things for now. Once the war starts, we don't know when we'll be free. Let's make the best use of our time to cultivate. He carried Zhou Luan into the house and she did not resist. Only then did Wang Daoyuan let out a sigh of relief. The issue of the marriage alliance with the Zhao family had finally passed. As for the matter of the Gui Water Nether Spring, it would be handled by Cui Ming, who was overseeing the northern branch of the Blood Shadow Mountain. Anyway, it wasn't a big deal. He just had to open a big hole in the water storage space and draw the water out. In order to remove the yin qi from the Darkwater River, he only needed to draw out a portion of the spring water from the Gui Water Nether Spring. The remaining spring water did not have enough pressure, so it would be fine if it did not gush up. A day later, Zhou Luan received the news that the yin qi from the Netherworld sect's Darkwater River had disappeared, which spread throughout half of the Zhao country. Soon, Cui Ming's clone also returned to the range of Wang Daoyuan's panoramic perception. Wang Daoyuan checked his memories. The matter had been completed. Cui Ming had cut a hole with a diameter of more than 3 feet above the water storage space. Wang Daoyuan also sent a message to the Zhao Emperor, saying that the matter of the source of the Yin Qi from the Darkwater River had been resolved. After half a month, Zhou Wan's intelligence showed that the Netherworld sect's disciples below the Golden Core stage had begun to panic. Even some Purple Mansion elders from old families had begun to express goodwill to Wang Daoyuan through various channels. A month later, Luo Jiuyou sent a message to Wang Daoyuan making a promise. As long as Wang Daoyuan could restore the Yin Qi from the Darkwater River, after the three sects destroyed the Zhao family, Qingli County and Heian County would be handed over to the Wang family. Moreover, the position of sect master of the Netherworld sect would be given to him. Wang Daoyuan didn't believe the nonsense of the Netherworld sect. These bastards even wanted to suppress the cultivators of their own family, let alone an outsider like him. Let's not talk about others, just take Zhou Qi for example. 200 years ago, he was already a Purple Mansion realm cultivator and served as the guardian of Qingli Market. At that time he was at most 100 years old. Back then, when he participated in the duel between the two sects at Pine Elm Mountain, he beat up the middle Purple Mansion realm cultivator of the Setting Sun Palace. Although his talent wasn't top-notch, he was definitely a first-rate genius. If such a talent was placed in another power, he would be a golden core seedling that was heavily nurtured. Now that he was 300 years old, he should have formed his core long ago. But now, nearly 200 years had passed and he had just reached the late Purple Mansion realm. The promises of the Netherworld sect's golden core cultivators couldn't be trusted. Wang Daoyuan directly sent a message back rejecting Luo Jiuyou. In any case, his own clansmen who had joined the Netherworld sect had been transferred to Qingli Market by Wang Daoyuan as the Grand Elder of the Netherworld sect when the administrator's office was established. Luo Jiuyou wanted to disgust him, but he couldn't find a way. A few days later, Zhong Yaoting, Zhong Xinyang's grandnephew, sent a message to Wang Daoyuan. He didn't say anything but just wanted to get close to him. He thanked Wang Daoyuan for giving him the corpse core which helped him to form his core successfully. This was a show of goodwill, which meant that some of the high-level golden core cultivators of the Netherworld sect were also uneasy. 3 days later, Gu Wangzong also sent a message to talk about their previous friendship. Wang Daoyuan had a lot of dealings with him, since he helped the Netherworld sect refine the flying boat when he was in the Foundation establishment stage. After forming his core, Gu Wangzong would come to the administrator's office to discuss anything that happened to the Netherworld sect. Of the 4 lineal families of the Netherworld sect, the Luo family held the power of the Netherworld sect, so they were naturally unwilling to surrender. The only remaining golden core cultivator of the Ming family died in the battle at Wuqing Pass, so there was no one from the Ming family in the high-level management. However, Ming Huai, who had dealt with Wang Daoyuan, still sent a message. Of the 4 lineal families of the Netherworld sect, 3 of them had the idea of leaving a way out. The entire Netherworld sect had already lost its people. After all, the Yin Qi was gone, and the Netherworld sect had no future. It was meaningless to continue to hold on. Even if they could survive this disaster, they would still fall apart in the future. Emperor Zhao's promise had also been announced to the whole country. Except for the Luo family, no one was willing to continue to fight. Wang Daoyuan immediately sent a message to Emperor Zhao, informing him of this matter. Now it was time to attack the mysterious crystal mine and force the Netherworld sect to surrender. Emperor Zhao was also very decisive. He immediately mobilized his forces and gathered them in Golden Goose City. Golden Goose City was only 10,000 miles away from the mysterious crystal mine, and it was a fortress, so it was heavily guarded. It was extremely suitable to use it as a logistics base. On the side of Shanbei Guiyuan Sword Sect, Zhao Lingyan also rushed to Golden Goose City with 4 third-order flying warships and a dozen flying boats. Now the 3 forces of Golden Goose City were gathered together, and they were not subordinate to each other, so it was inevitable that there would be conflicts. Wang Daoyuan, as the master of Golden Goose City, naturally had to go and take charge. He brought 5 third-order flying warships. Half of the warships were controlled by the cultivators of the Battle Division, and the other half by the Devil-Slaying Division. Among the cultivators of the Battle Division, there were also some members of the Wang family, and the rest were members of various families. The cultivators of the Devil-Slaying Division were basically rogue cultivators. The members of the Wang family, the families of Qingli County, and the rogue cultivators were the main factions under the command of the Duke Mansion. With such an arrangement, all the factions under the command of the Duke Mansion had people participating in the battle. After arriving at Golden Goose City, Wang Daoyuan, as the Duke Mansion, was second only to Emperor Zhao and the crown prince in the Zhao family. Naturally, he was in command of Golden Goose City, and Zhao Lingyan had no objection. Wanchuan Market sent a lot of people, led by Zhao Jinghua, Zhao Lingjiang, Gu Qingfeng, and 2 late Jindan stage cultivators of Linhai State. The arrival of these people was within Wang Daoyuan's expectation. After all, the strength of Zhong Xinyang of the Netherworld sect was extremely high. If there were no top masters, they would not be able to resist. If Zhong Xinyang seized the opportunity to kill a few Jindan stage cultivators of the Zhao family, things would be troublesome. To Wang Daoyuan's surprise, the 6th prince also came to Golden Goose City. After asking around, he found out that this guy volunteered to come. After the 9th prince succeeded the throne, he did not treat him unfairly and conferred him the title of Marquis Jinnan. It seemed that he really wanted to make some contributions and become a duke in the future. Chapter 6:15. After everyone arrived, the Golden Core cultivators came to the Golden Goose City Guard Mansion to discuss the specific arrangements for attacking the mysterious crystal vein. As soon as Gu Qingfeng entered the meeting hall with 2 Linhai State Golden Core cultivators, he said with a smile, "At first I wanted to force the County King to join the Zhao family, but I couldn't. The County King's strength is also far beyond ordinary people. Although this old man's strength is not first class among the Golden Core late-stage cultivators, it is above average. I didn't expect that I couldn't take down the County King, a Golden Core middle-stage cultivator. I'm afraid it won't be long before the County King's strength surpasses this old man. The younger generation is really formidable." At this time, Zhao Jinghua came in with 4 people from the Zhao family. They cupped their hands to Wang Daoyuan. The 6th prince's title was only a marquis, so naturally, it couldn't be compared to Wang Daoyuan's County King. Zhao Jinghua's title was Dukan, but as Zong Jingqin, he had the power to govern the Zhao family. The Zhao family's marquis had to salute him. However, Wang Daoyuan's surname wasn't Zhao, so Zong Jingqin couldn't control him. Zhao Jinghua could only salute him. Of course, Wang Daoyuan didn't put on airs and also saluted back respectfully. After everyone sat down, Zhao Jinghua said with a smile, "As the saying goes, a snake can't do without a head. This attack on the mysterious crystal vein is the County King's plan. His Majesty wants the County King to have full command, and we just need to cooperate. What do you think, Daoyu?" Since Emperor Zhao spoke, the others naturally didn't dare to say anything. Wang Daoyuan didn't dare to directly answer. Most of the cultivators present were from the same era as his ancestor, and his cultivation was still the lowest. Even if they didn't say it, they were still unhappy. When fighting, the most afraid of conflicts between family members. Not to mention others, the 6th prince was staring at him with a face full of hatred. Wang Daoyuan hurriedly declined, "I'm a junior and I've just turned over to the light. I'm afraid it's difficult to convince the public. Let's ask Zong Jingqin to command." Minister Zong said solemnly, "The County King has presented a plan to pacify the bandits for His Majesty and cut off the source of the Yin Qi in Mingshui River. In terms of merit, he is greater than us. Even the plan to attack the mysterious crystal vein of the 9th underworld was proposed by the 2nd-rank prince. Who would dare to disagree?" No one dared to object. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "Thank you for your trust, Your Majesty. I am willing to manage this matter. It's just that I have never commanded such a large battle before, so I would like to invite Minister Zong to be my assistant. I have a lot to learn from you." He couldn't command the Zhao family, and the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture didn't have much of a relationship with him. If he didn't find a well-respected deputy, he really wouldn't be able to hold on. Zhao Jinghua did not have any objections, so it was decided. Jinyan City, as the logistical material gathering point of this battle, also needed to be guarded by someone. The purpose of Wang Daoyuan attacking the Netherworld crystal mine was to wait for an opportunity to kill the gold core cultivators of the 3 major sects and destroy the last bit of courage of the Netherworld sect. This kind of battle required powerful cultivators to take part in it. Other than Gu Qingfeng, the other 2 gold core cultivators of Linhai Prefecture were not very powerful. They were scared out of their wits in the Battle of the 3 River Market. It was not very useful to let them go to the front line, so one person could guard Jinyan City and the other one could protect the supply line in the rank 4 flying warship. Even if the cultivators of the 3 sects attacked the rear with the gold core cultivators, they could delay a lot of time for the people at the front line to come back. After settling the rear, Wang Daoyuan, Gu Qingfeng and the 4 gold core cultivators of the Zhao family led a group of cultivators below the gold core level to the mysterious crystal mine. More than 2,000 miles to the east of the mysterious crystal mine, there was a mountain with a radius of more than 200 miles called Beiyuan Mountain. There was a rank 3 upper spirit vein on the mountain. This was the location of the Beiyuan sword sect before the rebellion of the three sections. After the three sects destroyed the Beiyuan sword sect, the Netherworld sect also stationed a lot of cultivators here to protect the mysterious crystal mine. The people of the Zhao family started to gather at Jinyan City half a month ago. It was obvious that they were going to attack the mysterious crystal mine. Once the army arrived, the Beiyuan mountain would not be able to withstand it no matter how many people there were. It was better to withdraw their forces and honestly guard the mysterious crystal mine. Therefore there was no defensive force at Beiyuan Mountain. Wang Daoyuan and the others were directly stationed at Beiyuan Mountain. The Zifu realm cultivators were in charge of setting up formations and other things. According to the information from Zhou Wan, the Netherworld sect had sent 3 gold core cultivators to guard the mine. They were Zhong Xinyang Luo Jiuyo, and one of the 2 grand elders of the Luo family, Luo Jiu. This Luo Jiu was more than 800 years old. He was extremely low-key and usually cultivated in the Netherworld sect's mountain gate. If there were no major events, he almost never showed his face. Previously, at Wuqing Pass, he only sent a rank 4 upper refined corpse and did not make a move himself. Wang Daoyuan was not sure how powerful this person was. However, the strength of the Netherworld sect cultivators would be reduced in the hands of the Zhao family. Unless he had a minor divine ability, it was unlikely that he would be stronger than Zhao Lingjiang. In the case of equal cultivation, it would depend on whose cultivation method and dharma spells were superior. The Zhao family's inheritance came from the ancient cultivators. For 10,000 years, the Zhao family had maintained around 30 gold core cultivators. With so many people improving and sufficient resources to support, the level of the inheritance was naturally very high. Since they wanted to destroy the last bit of courage of the Netherworld sect, they naturally could not just wait. Now that the reinforcements of the Cruel Sun Palace and the Thousand Spirit sect had not arrived, they seized the opportunity to show off their strength first. Zhao Lingyan stayed behind to guard Beiyuan Mountain. Wang Daoyuan and the other 4 gold core cultivators took 6 rank 3 flying warships and headed for the mysterious crystal mine. There were no mountain ranges where the mine was located. There were only a few small hills more than 1,000 feet tall and a rank 3 middle underground spirit vein. The mine was more than 60,000 feet deep and extended more than 100 miles from north to south. With the mine being so deep underground, apart from Wang Daoyuan who had the Beiyuan flame, even a half-step Yuaning would not be able to disturb the mine. The Netherworld sect had set up a rank 3 middle defensive formation along the spirit vein. At the entrance of the mine, they used a formation plate to set up a rank 4 defensive formation. The 5 gold core cultivators came near the entrance of the mine. Zhao Lingjiang took out his natal Dharma artifact and used the Gui Water Thunder Sword to slash at the rank 3 middle defensive formation. His sword was enough to kill an ordinary late-stage gold core cultivator. A mere rank 3 defensive formation was not worth mentioning at all. With one slash, the defensive light shield shattered. Wang Daoyuan and the other 4 blocked the entrance of the mine. The 6 flying warships that accompanied them quickly went over to attack the eye of the rank 3 defensive formation. As long as all the eye of the formation was destroyed, the Netherworld sect would not be able to repair the formation. To set up the formation again, even with the help of many formation masters, it would take 10 days to half a month. Then Wang Daoyuan and the others began to use their own spells to attack the rank 4 upper defensive formation at the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan used the Sword Shadow Divine Light technique, and 10 sword shadows attacked the formation continuously. When they ran out of spiritual power, they flew back to replenish their spiritual power. If this defensive formation was permanent and set up on a rank 4 spirit vein, it would be impossible to break through like this. However, this formation was set up with a formation disc. If this continued, the disc would definitely shatter within 3 days. Soon, an angry roar came from within the mine. The Zhao clan scoundrels have gone too far. Wang Daoyuan, you heartless thing. My Netherworld sect has never treated you unfairly. Why are you siding with the Zhao clan? This voice naturally belonged to Luo Jiuyo. Others would not be so thick-skinned. They had bullied the Wang clan for hundreds of years, and they still had the nerve to say that they had never treated them unfairly. Wang Daoyuan used the 5 elements devil suppression seal and smashed it directly at the defensive formation. The defensive light shield shook, but it was not damaged. He mocked, "You forced me to hand over my fortune. You gave me the 5 elements devil suppression seal in 2 parts, with a sinister move that could take my life. If not for Master Lei Yen seeing that something was wrong, I would have been killed by your schemes. When I reached the late Zifu disciple stage, you sent my Wang clan Zifu disciple to a dangerous place that was unsuitable for cultivation. My Wang clan only wanted to develop properly. We never had the ambition to overthrow the Netherworld sect, but you just had to force our hand. Even now, you still have the nerve to say that you have never treated me unfairly. Luo Jiuyo, you despicable person. Do you dare fight with me? Chapter 616. Luo Jiuyo didn't dare to answer. Wang Daoyuan had captured Zhao Lingyan, who was in the later stage of the Golden Core realm, and almost captured Gu Changqing. Those 2 times could be said to be sneak attacks, but facing Gu Qingfeng, who was in the later stage of the Golden Core realm, this was real ability. Half of the strength of the local cultivators of the ghost sect was in refining corpses or raising ghosts. He wasn't good enough in a one-on-one battle. Plus, Red Wing Wu Tianke had the inheritance of the ghost sect, so it was useless for him to release the corpses. Luo Jiuyo didn't dare to answer. Gu Qingfeng began to mock him. Luo, the ghost sect is not a small golden core power. Ruling 1/3 of the territory of the state of Zhao, is that all? I remember that the first time the county king used the Tsang Dragon Pearl in public was at Wuqing Pass. At that time he was still a foundation establishment cultivator. As the sect leader of a golden core power, you schemed against a foundation establishment cultivator. You're really shameless. The county king has made a lot of contributions to the ghost sect, so he has to keep some tricks when giving rewards. Such a sect can survive until now. You're really capable. You're afraid of the county king's golden crow. I'm an earth element cultivator, so I can't restrain you. Why don't we have a fight? Luo Jiuyo was speechless. Gu Qingfeng's strength wasn't weak, and he was proficient in escape techniques. Even if Luo Jiuyo released the corpses, he wasn't sure he could win. He didn't dare to answer. Gu Qingfeng was even more enthusiastic. We're all people of the same generation as Marquis Yuchuan. The county king is only 200 years old, and his cultivation is lower than yours. You don't even have the courage to face him, and you still have the face to call us cowards. I think the ghost sect is a nest of cowards. Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng mocked him, but they didn't stop attacking the array. Moreover, when they shouted, they even used spiritual sense and spiritual power. With the strength of the later stage of the Golden Core realm, it wasn't a problem for the words to spread hundreds of miles away. This was also part of the psychological attack. Luo Jiuyo's psychological endurance wasn't very good, so he didn't dare to answer Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng. The 5 of them chatted and laughed as they attacked the formation. Even the 6th prince was working very hard. However, Wang Daoyuan felt that there was something wrong with this guy. When he looked at others, there was always a hint of hatred on his face. Wang Daoyuan couldn't care less about the Zhao family's domestic affairs, so he just let them be. They were attacking the defensive formation here just to intimidate the underworld sect. Now was not the time to take the mine. Therefore the attacks were intermittent. After 10 to 12 hours, 3 auspicious clouds floated over from the west of the mine. It was obvious that the reinforcements from the 3 sects had arrived. Another 3 golden core cultivators came to support the other side. Including the 3 people hiding in the mine, the other side had 6 golden core cultivators. Furthermore, with a pinnacle expert like Zhong Jinyang around, it was hard to say how strong Luo Jiuyo was. If one of the cultivators who came to support was Jinren Yulong, the 5 of them would not be able to take advantage of him. Wang Daoyuan transmitted his voice to the other 4, the enemy's situation is unknown. Let the cultivators below Golden Core retreat to Primordial Mountain to recuperate first. We will make plans after exploring the situation. The others had no objection. Wang Daoyuan sent a message to the flying warships, telling them to return to Primordial Mountain. The Third Order flying warships were not slow. Soon they fled 200 to 300 miles away. The 3 auspicious clouds were also relatively close. This place was too close to the mine. If they fought here, it would be easy to be sneak attacked by the Underworld sect's Golden Core cultivators. He ordered the Golden Core cultivators to retreat 200 miles to the east. The 6th prince took the lead and ran at the front. Wang Daoyuan felt comfortable at that time. He secretly said in his heart, "This is the long-legged prince I know." The 4 of them also followed closely behind the 6th prince. The auspicious clouds coming from the west did not stop at the mine. Instead, they continued to chase east. As they got closer, Wang Daoyuan saw the people coming. 3 late Golden Core cultivators, 2,000 Spirit Sect cultivators, and 1 Cruel Sun Palace cultivator. The Cruel Sun Palace cultivator was the first Supreme Elder, Spiritual Master Yen Yang. Although his strength was not as good as Spiritual Master Jin Yang, who held the Cruel Sun Sword, He should not be worse than Zhao Lingjiang. The Thousand Spirit Sect sent Spiritual Master Yulong. The other person was also the Thousand Spirit Sect's Great Elder, Spiritual Master Fei Yu. His strength was not very strong. Adding the spiritual beast he raised, he was only at the level of Lord Lin Hai. The two sects pulled their first supreme elders here. It seemed that they were really anxious. The yin qi of the underworld river was cut off. The mysterious 9 crystal mine was the last pillar of the underworld sect. If this mine could not be saved, the underworld sect would be completely finished. The 3 sects were intimately interdependent. If the underworld sect was finished, the 2 sects would no longer be Zhao clan's opponent. Therefore they sent their strongest cultivators here. However, the harassment from Emperor Zhao's side also had some effect. Otherwise it would not be just these 3 reinforcements. Spiritual Master Yulong shouted, "Honored guests of Zhao clan, why are you running away as soon as you see us? It's better to stay and let us entertain you." Zhao Jinghua turned around and shot a 10th water divine thunder. Spiritual Master Qi Yang's strength was not bad. A fiery red arm phantom appeared out of thin air and caught the 10th water divine thunder. Several people flew 200 miles to the east and stopped. At this time 2 cultivators flew out of the mine. They were Zhong Xinyang and Luo Jiuyo. The 2 sides were 5 against 5, and each side had 2 top fighting strength. The 6th prince was unreliable, and Zhong Xinyang also had the intention to leave a way out. Wang Daoyuan transmitted to the other 4 people, letting Zhao Jinghua block Spiritual Master Yulong, and Zhao Lingjiang deal with Spiritual Master Fei Yu. Gu Chengfeng and Spiritual Master Qi Yang were both body-refining cultivators. Their life-saving ability was relatively strong. The confrontation between the 6th prince and Zhong Xinyang, these 2 unreliable guys, was also a bit interesting. As for himself, he wanted to settle the old grudge with Luo Jiuyo. Spiritual Master Yulong summoned a cyan flood dragon. This flood dragon looked similar to the jade scale flood dragon. Unfortunately, its horns were not forked and its tail was bare. At a glance, one could tell that it was a snake that had transformed into a flood dragon. It was a little different from the jade scale flood dragon and had not reached the level of a semi-divine beast. However, the strength of a 4th-grade flood dragon could not be underestimated. There was an 80% chance that it had some small magical abilities. Spiritual Master Fei Yu released an eagle-type spirit bird with a wingspan of less than 10 feet. This was the spirit bird that Spiritual Master Fei Yu valued the most. It was called the Golden-Tailed Owl. Zhong Xinyang and Luo Jiuyo both summoned 4th-grade high-grade refined corpses. These things were like clay in front of the Zhao family. In front of Wang Daoyuan they could only be made of paper. On the other side, the 4 people each took out their magic tools and fought with their opponents. Wang Daoyuan said with a fake smile, "Luo Jiuyo, let's play?" After saying that, he took out 5 life magic tools and charged towards Luo Jiuyo. Luo Jiuyo did not dare to let him get close. He immediately turned into a cloud of black smoke and hid. He ordered his refined corpse to attack Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan summoned the scarlet feathered crow and borrowed a wisp of golden and red flames. Activating the vermilion bird fan, the flames surged and swept towards the refined corpse. The scarlet feathered crow also used the sun miner ability and turned into a golden and red sun, pouncing towards the refined corpse. The 4th-grade refined corpse's speed could not be underestimated, but it was still incomparable to the scarlet feathered crow. It was quickly ignited by the flames. Luo Jiuyo quickly appeared and helped the refined corpse extinguish the fire. Wang Daoyuan used the black tortoise purgatory to lock Luo Jiuyo up. Then the black tortoise purgatory gradually shrank. Luo Jiuyo took out a black banner and summoned black smoke from the black banner, wanting to break through the black tortoise purgatory. These black smoke were the little ghosts that Luo Jiuyo raised. If it was someone else, it would not be easy to deal with him. However, Wang Daoyuan's water attribute spirit power and the rootless fire of the Gui water nether flames were the same thing. They could be transformed at any time. Although it was in the form of spirit power and could not be burned at will, it still had the ability to erode the power of the divine sense and soul. When the black smoke came into contact with the black tortoise purgatory, it let out a series of miserable screams. No matter how Luo Jiuyo urged it, it was not willing to attack again. He could only withdraw the black smoke and use magic to break through the black tortoise purgatory. This was purely wishful thinking. Before Wang Daoyuan comprehended the lesser divine ability, he could already trap Gu Qingfeng for a long time. Now that he had the lesser divine ability, his strength had increased by 20%. Trapping Luo Jiuyo was just a piece of cake. The refined corpse he released was quickly turned into ashes under the cooperation of the scarlet-feathered crow and the vermilion bird fan. The black tortoise purgatory continued to shrink. Soon Luo Juyo would follow in the footsteps of the refined corpse. Zhong Xinyang and the sixth prince fought back and forth, but they did not even look at him. In the end, Yulong Jinren could not stand it anymore and secretly cursed, "Trash!" He waved his hand and released an azure dragon shadow, breaking through the black tortoise purgatory. Luo Juyo immediately used an escape technique and turned into black smoke, distancing himself from Wang Daoyuan. Then the other cultivators of the three sects also began to retreating to the vicinity of the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan did not let anyone chase after him. He had won the first battle and easily destroyed a fourth-grade high-grade refined corpse. His goal of exhausting the strength of the three sects had been achieved. Since he had already gained the upper hand, it was better to stop while he was ahead, so as not to force the other side and cause both sides to suffer. Chapter 617. When Venerable Yulong and the others returned to the mine, they lost a golden core stage cultivator in their first fight. Venerable Yulong and Venerable Flying Feather didn't say anything, but Venerable Yin Yang couldn't hold back his anger. He pointed at Luo Juyo's nose and cursed, "Why did the Netherworld sect choose such a trash as their sect master? In the Three River Market, you were beaten like a stray dog by the Zhao family. This time I took care of you and didn't let you deal with the Zhao family. You didn't even have the power to resist against a junior from the Wang family. If it wasn't for Venerable Yulong's help, you would have been killed by the Wang family. In the first fight you lost a high-grade Tier 4 refined corpse. How much wealth does the Netherworld sect have to endure such a waste?" Zhong Xinyang and Luo Juyu had nothing to say. Their sect's inheritor was restrained by someone else. It would be shameful if word got out. However, Venerable Yulong came out to smooth things over. "There's nothing we can do about it. Who would have thought that the Wang family's inheritor would be so restrained by the Netherworld sect? In the next fight, Daoyu Luo should deal with Gu Qingfeng. He's an Earth attribute body refinement cultivator and has no restraining effect on the Netherworld sect's inheritor. Daoyu Yin-Yang will deal with the Wang family's kid. You're a body refinement cultivator, so you shouldn't be so afraid of the Golden Crow's flames." Both of them nodded their heads in agreement. Venerable Yulong asked again, "Daoyu Zhong, do you feel that the Wang family's kid's technique is abnormally strong? When I sent a dragon shadow over, I felt that his black water prison was a bit too strong. It's not just the black tortoise's charm. It seems to have a hint of law." Luo Juyo also nodded. "It's a bit like that. When he dealt with Gu Qingfeng a few years ago, the water prison was much weaker than it is now. To be able to increase the water prison's strength so much in such a short time and have a hint of law, he should have a minor divine ability." Venerable Yin Yang was gloating before, but now his expression turned serious. If that's the case, his strength should be stronger than what he showed. His current strength isn't much weaker than mine. If his minor divine ability is more powerful, his strength might surpass mine. For the time being, only Daoyu Yulong and Daoyu Zhong can beat him. Xianming Daoyu needed to be near the rank 4 water spirit vein in order to defeat him. The palace master of the Savage Sun Palace needs to recover before he can defeat him. While the three sects were in a gloomy mood, the Origin returning mountain was full of joy. Everyone was in a dilapidated hall on Mount Guiyuan. Gu Qingfeng cupped his hands and said, "The younger generation will surpass us in time. A few years ago I was still slightly superior to the Duke. Now I should be far inferior to the Duke." Zhao Jingwa could tell that his spell contained obvious power of law, but he did not point it out. He only asked, "If your highness goes all out, how is your strength compared to Ling Jiang and Ling Tian?" Wang Daoyuan replied, "About the same as Marquis Ling Jiang, but not as good as the sixth prince." Zhao Jingwa nodded and said, "If you include the Golden Crow bloodline, their power should not be too far from Ling Tian's. With such strength, he could be considered a top expert among the late Golden Core stage cultivators. It might not be enough to deal with Venerable Yulong, but it was not a problem to deal with Venerable Shenming. With the Golden Crow bloodline restraining the Underworld sect's inheritance, Zhong Xinyang should not be a match for you if he does not use a small ability." Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, "Let's not talk about strength. This time the Myriad Spirit sect sent Venerable Yulong over. It seems that they attach great importance to the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. We won't have much success in a short time. Let's inform His Majesty and have the Myriad Rivers Market attack the Myriad Spirit sect's important industry. If the Myriad Spirit sect dares to send out Golden Core cultivators, His Majesty can take the opportunity to kill a few." If they don't send out golden core cultivators, then we'll take down the important industry and let the myriad spirit sect suffer in silence. Zhao Jinghua nodded and then sent a message to Emperor Zhao, reporting the situation here and Wang Daoyuan's suggestion. Emperor Zhao's reaction was also very fast. The next day after receiving the news, he personally led the army. He brought Shi Zhizhong, Wu Mingjue and Zhao Jingbang, who had just returned from Song, to attack a medium-sized spirit stone mine in the south of Linchuan County. This spirit stone mine was in the center of Linchuan County and stretched for more than 100 miles. Usually it could excavate 400,000 to 500,000 spirit stones every year, and occasionally a few high-grade spirit stones. Now that it was wartime, it wouldn't be a problem to send more manpower and produce 1 million spirit stones a year. Even though the myriad spirit sect was a large sect, losing this industry would be a huge loss. The three sects had been fighting on two fronts for many years and their reserves were almost exhausted. Other resources were still fine, but spirit stones were the most indispensable. Regardless of whether it was formations, warships, flying boats, or cultivators recovering their spiritual power, they were all inseparable from spirit stones. If they gave up this spirit stone mine, the benefits would fall into the hands of the Zhao clan, which was simply helping the enemy. The myriad spirit sect could only brace themselves. Taoist Master Profound Ming brought 3 late-stage golden core cultivators to the spirit stone mine. There was no large river nearby, so Taoist Master Profound Ming's Darkwater Black Turtle couldn't display too much strength. Emperor Zhao also had the mountain river seal in hand, so they didn't dare to face him head-on and just hid inside the defensive formation. The grade of the spirit veins in the vicinity of the spirit stone mine wasn't high, so they could only use formation plates to lay down the formation. Emperor Zhao and the other 3 golden core cultivators attacked the formation from time to time, causing damage to the formation plates several times. Taoist Master Profound Ming had no choice but to take the golden core cultivators to resist for a while, giving the formation masters time to replace the formation plates. However, the price they paid was not small. The Darkwater Black Turtle was injured by Emperor Zhao. If this continued, the Darkwater Black Turtle wouldn't be able to hold on. Emperor Zhao tossed and turned for half a month, and the cultivators in the mysterious 9 underworld crystal mine began to change. The Savage Sun Palace and the Myriad Spirit Sect each sent a late-stage golden core cultivator, and then Taoist Master Yulong left the place and headed south. It seemed that the Myriad Spirit Sect was really anxious, sending 2 late-stage golden core cultivators to replace Taoist Master Yulong. Zhao Jinghua was a peak golden core expert, and one more person couldn't withstand him. Emperor Zhao sent a message that Taoist Master Yulong had appeared in Linchuan County, so Wang Daoyuan took the 4 golden core cultivators and attacked again. The 6th Prince and Zhong Xinyang were really eyeing each other, and they exchanged blows on the side. The 2 newly arrived Jindan stage cultivators had also shown their faces in the Three River Market. The cultivator from the Savage Sun Palace was called Qian Yang, and he was able to exchange blows with Zhao Lingjiang. The cultivator from the Myriad Spirit Sect was called Jin Shan, and his strength was relatively weak. Even with his golden eagle spirit bird, his strength was about the same as Lin Hai King. The 2 of them were still a bit strenuous to deal with Zhao Jinghua. Of course, the 3 sects didn't expect to win, and they only hoped to barely hold on. As soon as the 2 sides met, Taoist Master Yin Yang of the Savage Sun Palace attacked Wang Daoyuan. How could Wang Daoyuan not see through their thoughts? He directly turned into a vermilion bird with a wingspan of more than 10 feet, dodged Taoist Master Yin Yang's attack, and continued to attack Luo Jiuyo. Gu Qingfeng took the opportunity to entangle Taoist Master Yin Yang. When Luo Jiuyo saw Wang Daoyuan flying over, he immediately turned into black smoke and fled. The scarlet-feathered crow turned into a sun and chased after him. The black smoke turned into nothingness 100 feet away from the scarlet-feathered crow. As soon as he showed his head, Wang Daoyuan used the black tortoise purgatory. Although Luo Jiuyo's escape technique wasn't fast, it was very flexible, and he managed to dodge the black tortoise purgatory several times. Jin Shan and Chen Yang were suppressed by Zhao Jinghua, and Taoist Flying Feather could barely entangle Zhao Lingjiang. Zhong Xinyang pretended not to see Luo Jiuyo, and Taoist Master Yin Yang's escape technique couldn't keep up with the 2, and he was also entangled by Gu Qingfeng, so he couldn't free himself. Luo Jiuyo was lingering on the edge of death. After the scarlet-feathered crow used the Ardent Sun Minor Divine ability, his speed increased greatly, and he was faster than a peak golden core cultivator. Luo Jiuyo's speed was simply incomparable. He was soon intercepted by the scarlet-feathered crow, and when he changed direction he was trapped by the Black Tortoise Purgatory. Wang Daoyuan shrank the Black Tortoise Purgatory and at the same time took out the White Tiger Blade, and used the Sword Shadow Divine Light technique. 10 sword shadows passed through the water curtain and entered the Black Tortoise Purgatory, giving Luo Jiuyo some strength. At first, Luo Jiuyo wanted to use spells to defeat the sword shadows, but dealing with 10 sword shadows at the same time was easier said than done. Soon, several wounds appeared on his body. If not for the soft armor protecting his body, he would have been seriously injured. In desperation, he could only raise a spiritual energy barrier to block the sword shadows. Even so, he could only hold on for a dozen breaths. When the Black Tortoise Purgatory shrank to its limit, he would die without a doubt. At this moment, a golden figure flew out from the mine's defensive formation, and pounced on Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan immediately used the smoke escape, and dodged the golden figure's attack. The scarlet-feathered crow also quickly retreated, and came to Wang Daoyuan's side. The golden figure waved his hand and shattered the Black Tortoise Purgatory, and the 10 sword shadows slashed on his body, but he was unharmed. Wang Daoyuan used his spiritual sense to probe, and found that there was no trace of life on his body. Instead, there was an extremely strong corpse and death aura. At this moment, Wang Daoyuan knew what the guy in front of him was. It was a metal elite corpse. Chapter 618. In the past, when Wang Daoyuan was at the Violet Palace realm, he encountered the silver-armored corpse in the divine infernal gold mine in the Blood Demon City of the Southern Wastelands. Although the silver-armored corpse's body was strong, making it difficult for cultivators of the same level to break through its defenses, it still had a weakness. The body of the metal-armored corpse no longer had any weaknesses. Cultivators of the same level could not injure it at all. Although the Gui Water Divine Lightning of the Zhao family cultivators, Wang Daoyuan's True Fire of Scarlet Yang, and Scarlet Feather's True Fire of Scarlet Feather and Scarlet Feather could wear down the corpse chi and death chi on the refined corpses, the metal-armored corpse was different from the metal-armored corpse. No matter how high the grade of the metal-armored corpse was, the corpse chi and death chi on the regular corpse would not be too much. They could be easily dealt with using lightning, fire, and other magical attacks. However, metal-armored corpses were different. Refining metal-armored corpses required special corpses. The spiritual bodies or battle bodies of humans could only be refined by demonic beasts that had similar constitutions. These special constitutions could carry more energy, which meant they could store more corpse chi and death chi in their bodies. Special corpses had to be placed in places with dense yin chi and death chi. Secret techniques would be used to lock the yin chi they absorbed into their bodies. Some methods of refining corpses even required medicinal baths. Serving a refined corpse was even more tiring than serving a lord. These refined corpses could become iron-armored corpses in a few decades, silver-armored corpses in a few centuries, and metal-armored corpses in a few millennia. Of course, the level of the secret technique and the amount of resources would affect the time required to refine a metal-armored corpse. However, it would take at least 1,000 years to refine a metal-armored corpse. It could be said that every part of the body of the metal-armored corpse was filled with a tremendous amount of corpse chi and death chi. The corpse chi and death chi of the refined corpse that Wang Daoyuan had burned to death was not even as much as a single finger of the metal-armored corpse. The toughness of the refined corpse's body was supported by these two factors. Without completely exhausting them, it would be impossible to break through the refined corpse's body. The metal-armored corpse was only at the beginning of the high grade of the 4th rank, but Wang Daoyuan could not compare to it in terms of toughness or strength. Even if Zhao Jingwei used his full strength, he could only injure the metal-armored corpse. It was very difficult for him to even heavily injure it. Perhaps only his master, Taoist Thunder Flame, would be able to severely injure it with a single strike. Now Wang Daoyuan understood why Zhao Lingyan and the 2 gold core cultivators of the Zhao family would self-destruct their gold cores when they attacked the mystical underworld crystal mine. In such a narrow environment, human cultivators were unable to display their advantage in speed and magic. They were far from being a match for the refined corpses. The fact that the 2 Zhao family cultivators were able to self-detonate their gold cores was already pretty good. Otherwise, their gold cores and blood essence would have become nutrients for the metal elite zombie. The metal elite zombie's speed was relatively fast among refined zombies, especially when it was running on the ground. However, flying in the sky was not very fast. The reason why he was able to fly out of the mine so quickly was most likely due to his physical strength. As it continued to fly in the air, its speed was about the same as a golden core cultivator who did not have a high-level escape technique. On the other hand, refined corpse's main means of attack was its physical body. As long as it didn't get close, there was no need to be afraid of it. Wang Daoyuan's escape technique was not bad, he would not be taken down by a refined corpse. However, things like the Black Tortoise Purgatory and Sword Cultivator spells would not be able to injure it. He could only rely on the Scarlet Feathered Crow's natal spiritual fire to consume the corpse and death aura on its body. He drew out flames from the Scarlet Feathered Crow's body and activated the Vermilion Bird Fan to increase the intensity of the flames, burning the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie dodged a few times, but was still caught by the flames. After being ignited by the flames, the Metal Elite Zombie's body shone with golden light. The golden light quickly turned into a black mist and enveloped the flames. The flames were quickly extinguished. Wang Daoyuan activated the Vermilion Bird Fan with all his strength, but could only barely keep the flames on the refined corpse from extinguishing. If he wanted to burn the Metal Elite Zombie to death, it would take at least 2 to 3 months. The cowardly Luo Jiuyo also revealed himself and released his Yin Qi to help the Metal Elite Zombie suppress the flames. The flames on the Metal Elite Zombie's body were getting smaller and smaller. The Scarlet Feathered Crow also hurriedly took action. He flapped his wings repeatedly, but the flames on the Metal Elite Zombie's body were still showing signs of weakening. At this rate, they could only exhaust some of the corpse and death aura. It would be very difficult to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. And this was because the Scarlet Gold Flames could restrain the Metal Elite Zombie. Had it been a cultivator without any means to restrain the Metal Elite Zombie, even a half-step Yuaning would have to expend a lot of effort to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. Wang Daoyuan deployed the Black Tortoise Purgatory in an attempt to separate Luo Jiuyo from the Metal Elite Zombie. Unfortunately, the Black Tortoise Purgatory was just a matter of a punch for the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie resisted the flames and pounced towards Wang Daoyuan. Wang Daoyuan relied on the escape of Cloud to avoid being hit by the Metal Elite Zombie. Instead, he could seize the opportunity to deal a few blows to Luo Jiuyo. However, Luo Jiuyo was too cunning. As soon as he was attacked, he fled towards the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie and Luo Jiuyo did not dare to rashly separate. Otherwise, Wang Daoyuan and the Scarlet Feathered Crow would be able to injure the Metal Elite Zombie. The two sides were in a deadlock. Neither side could defeat the other. Wang Daoyuan was not in a hurry. There was no need for him to expose more of his trump cards. It was fine as long as he could hold his ground. Victory did not depend entirely on him. As for his other 4 companions, Gu Qingfeng was slightly weaker than Sei Jianyang. The 6th Prince and Zhong Jinyang were basically tied. Zhao Lingjiang had a slight advantage, but he could not win in a short time. Zhao Jinggua's side, however, had a great advantage. Qian Yang and Jin Shan were already covered with cuts and bruises. They could barely hold on and were about to be defeated. As long as Zhao Jinggua could kill one of the enemy's Golden Core cultivators, they would be able to win quickly. As for the other 3 sects, their late Golden Core cultivators were already at the bottom. Currently, only the Myriad Spirit sect could pull in one more late Golden Core cultivator. Once the reinforcements were transferred over, they would not have enough manpower to defend Emperor Zhao. Zhao Jinggua also noticed that Wang Daoyuan's side was having a hard time winning. The long sword in his hand flickered with dazzling aqua-blue radiance. He wanted to kill one of his opponents ruthlessly. Just at this moment, a plume of black smoke emerged from the mine. It rushed towards Zhao Jinggua at an extremely fast speed. Zhao Jinggua had no choice but to change the target of his attack and slashed at the black smoke. The sound of metal clashing was heard, and a black figure flew out from the black smoke. This person appeared. He was wearing a black robe and his whole body was surrounded by Yin Qi. Corpse Qi and Death Qi were hidden in the Yin Qi. He was holding a shield in his hand, but there was a deep sword mark on the shield. It was completely destroyed. The black-robed cultivator said in a hoarse voice, "Zhao family's inheritance is really powerful. This sword strike can actually destroy a 4th-rank high-grade defensive magic tool." His face was quite similar to Luo Jiuyo's. Zhao Jinggua asked, "You're Luo Jiuyu who has been hiding. You're really powerful." The black-robed cultivator said with a smile, "It's my honor to be praised by the #1 expert of Zhao State." He looked behind him at Chen Yang and Jin Shan, who were covered with cuts and bruises, and shouted, "Retreat." With Zhao Jinggua's strength, it would be a bit difficult for him to fight 1 against 3. Everyone had consumed a lot of spiritual power. If they continued to fight, they would not have a chance to win, and casualties would be inevitable. Wang Daoyuan also left with everyone and returned to Mount Guiyuan. After returning to Mount Guiyuan, Wang Daoyuan asked, Minister Zong, what do you think of Luo Jiuyu's strength? Zhao Jinghua thought for a moment and replied, he should be about the same as Ling Jiang, but his physical strength is extremely strong. I fought with the cruel Sun Palace's Jinyang renegade. When he used his Dharma idol, his strength was about the same as Luo Jiuyu's. Previously, when you received my sword strike, you mainly relied on the strength of your physical body. County King Dao Yugu, you too also walked the path of body refinement. Have you seen such a strong physical body? Gu Qingfeng shook his head. Wang Daoyuan said, if it was my master Lei Yanjinren, he might have this strength. But the Netherworld sect is not good at body refinement, so it's unlikely for them to cultivate such a person. Although he deliberately hid it, I still found corpse chi and death chi on his body. Moreover, these two are extremely pure. They are definitely not from being in contact with corpses for a long time. In addition, with such a strong physical body, I suspect that he's a half-corpse. Gu Qingfeng was a bit confused, but the Zhao family's faces changed slightly. Zhao Lingjiang quickly asked, County King, are you talking about the secret technique that allows living people to absorb corpse chi and death chi into their bodies and refine them into half-human half-corpse? Chapter 619. Wang Daoyuan nodded his head. Zhao Jinghua asked, are you sure? He said thoughtfully, before I formed my gold core, I met a half-corpse when I was traveling in the southern wasteland. That person's body was extremely strong, and there were obvious fluctuations of corpse chi and death chi on his body. This was very similar to Luo Jiuyu. However, that half-corpse vitality and blood chi were almost undetectable. Unlike Luo Jiuyu, who had extremely strong vitality. Minister Zong Jingqing fought with him at close range. Did you feel anything unusual? When he attacked, the black smoke also had the effect of concealing the consciousness, so I didn't feel anything. Later on, when I forced him to retreat with a sword, I felt obvious fluctuations of corpse chi and death chi. The underworld sect's inheritance was mainly about refining corpses and controlling ghosts. It was normal for them to have some of these things on their bodies. I didn't take it seriously, but the county king's words were indeed not quite right. If they were tainted, they would definitely be extremely impure. The corpse chi and death chi on Luo Jiuyu's body were very pure, and completely merged with his body. It was indeed very similar to a refined corpse. The county king has dealt with half-corpses before. May I know if they have any weaknesses? Wang Daoyuan replied, since the day he became a half-corpse, his body has been continuously transforming into a refined corpse. Unless he has some kind of treasure, it's impossible to suppress it. The closer he is to a refined corpse, the stronger his body is, but the weaker his spells are. The refined corpse I dealt with was at the late stage of the Violet Palace realm. His body was indeed far stronger than a late-stage Violet Palace realm body refiner, but his spells were inferior to an ordinary early-stage Violet Palace realm cultivator. It's just that Luo Jiuyu's vitality is still very strong, so I'm not sure how much power his spells have left. Zhao Jinghua pondered for a long time. The other side suddenly had two people with battle strength comparable to Ling Jiang. Fortunately, the county king's golden crow can restrain the metal elite corpse. Otherwise, it would have been difficult for us. It was also very difficult for me to deal with Luo Jiuyu, Chen Yang, and Jin Shan. I could only ask His Majesty for help and transfer Shanbei's Ling Su over. Although he's not as strong as Ling Jiang, he's slightly stronger than Ling Hai. Dealing with Chen Yang shouldn't be a problem. Gu Daoyu, on the other hand, has to be careful. Zhao and the county king all have methods to restrain the underworld sect. It will be difficult for them to kill us. Gu Daoyu doesn't have the means to restrain the underworld sect. Even if his escape art is powerful, it is inevitable that he will lose. Gu Qingfeng also looked worried, not knowing what to do. He was an earth-type cultivator and was the weakest among all the cultivators. If the three sects wanted to kill the cultivators here, he would be the easiest target. Wang Daoyuan smiled and said, Daoyu, don't worry. I have an earth element spell that can be used together with Kirin's vision. This spell was called Kirin's Evil Suppression Spell. It could reduce the power of evil cultivators' attacks by 10 to 20%. If Daoyu learns this technique, it won't be difficult for him to deal with the cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Gu Qingfeng's face was full of joy. The royal prince likes to do business. I wonder what you've taken a fancy to. You've already taken away my Gu clan's cultivation technique inheritance, so I don't have anything good on me now. It's great to do business with a straightforward person. I want to take care of Daoyu's earth elemental evasion technique. Gu Qingfeng thought for a long time and still felt that preserving his life was more important. He took out a jade slip. Wang Daoyuan took out 2 jade slips and exchanged them with Gu Qingfeng. This evasion technique was called flying dust evasion. It was similar to the Wang clan's cloud evasion. It used one's own earth-type spirit energy or external earth-type spirit energy to condense flying dust and hide in it. If it didn't go underground, it would be faster than the cloud evasion. As an earth-type evasion technique, there was no problem in going underground. Its speed was also much faster than basic earth-type evasion techniques. When used in the air, it could also borrow the wind to increase its speed. Zhao Jingwa sent a message to Emperor Zhao, wanting to transfer Zhao Lingxiu over. Zhao Lingxiu oversaw Guiyuan sword sect, which was also an important place to produce all kinds of resources. If he wanted to transfer him over, he would have to transfer as many resources as possible to Jinyan City. It would take at least 10 days to half a month, so there was no rush. Before this, Wang Daoyuan practiced flying dust evasion. Gu Qingfeng was also practicing Kirin's evil suppression spell. The two of them consulted each other. With Gu Qingfeng's guidance, Wang Daoyuan only needed 2 days to successfully execute it. Gu Qingfeng had the yellow mane Kirin's vision, so he wasn't slow in cultivating Kirin's evil suppression spell. With Wang Daoyuan's guidance, he mastered it in 10 days. The thick earth profound handle was relatively simple. Gu Qingfeng only needed 2 or 3 days to be able to execute it. 20 days later, a blue-robed golden core cultivator arrived at Mount Guiyuan on a flying boat transporting resources from Jinyan City. This was Zhao Lingxiu of the Zhao clan. His hair and beard were all white. He was at least 800 or 900 years old. Once Zhao Lingxiu arrived, the battle could begin. The 6 of them once again rushed to the mysterious Netherworld crystal mine. After 20 days, Qian Yang and Jin Shan, who were covered in cuts and bruises, had already recovered. When Wang Daoyuan and the others arrived near the mine, the other party came out to meet them. The newcomer Zhao Lingxiu dealt with Jin Shan of the Myriad Spirit Sect and his Golden Eagle. Zhao Jingwa dealt with Luo Jiuyu and Qian Yang. Metal Elite Zombie and Luo Jiuyu immediately attacked Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan naturally wouldn't let them succeed. Otherwise, with one less person on his side, it would be difficult to fight. Gu Qingfeng executed Kirin's evil suppression technique and took out his Fangtian halberd to resist Metal Elite Zombie. He was definitely not a match for Metal Elite Zombie alone. Wang Daoyuan also executed Kirin's evil suppression technique. His body emitted an earthy yellow radiance. At the same time, he took out the 5 Elements Demon Suppression Seal and smashed it towards Metal Elite Zombie. Red-Feathered Crow flew towards Luo Jiuyu to prevent him from launching a sneak attack. Luo Jiuyu, on the other hand, didn't interfere. Red-Feathered Crow chased after him until he covered his head and fled like a rat. The two of them worked together to resist Metal Elite Zombie's attack and didn't fall into a disadvantageous position. However, when they clashed head-on, their bodies had to bear an enormous amount of force. Metal Elite Zombie could withstand it, but Wang Daoyuan and Gu Qingfeng didn't have such strong bodies. Spiritual Master Yan Yang also came to join in the fun. Gu Qingfeng went to block him. Metal Elite Zombie was determined to kill Gu Qingfeng. He completely ignored Wang Daoyuan's attack. He summoned a ball of flame from Red-Feathered Crow's body and activated the Vermilion Bird Fan. The flame instantly expanded to the size of a wheel and burned towards Metal Elite Zombie. Metal Elite Zombie used the same old method. He covered himself with black gas to suppress the golden flame and continued to attack Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan transmitted to Gu Qingfeng, telling him to flee to the east. This Metal Elite Zombie was too difficult to deal with. If he couldn't get rid of it, Gu Qingfeng could be killed at any time. Wang Daoyuan planned to lure Metal Elite Zombie to a faraway place and execute a minor ability. Together with Red-Feathered Crow and Firebane Gourd, they would burn Metal Elite Zombie to death. After receiving Lu Cheng's transmission, Gu Qingfeng transformed into a cloud of dust and fled to the east. Even Metal Elite Zombie's intelligence was negligible. It must have received its master's order to pursue Gu Qingfeng with all its might. The speed of flying dust escape was extremely fast. Metal Elite Zombie could only chase from afar. Spiritual Master Yan Yang was also in hot pursuit. Wang Daoyuan ordered Red-Feathered Crow to entangle Luo Jiuyu so that he wouldn't cause trouble. Gu Qingfeng lured Metal Elite Zombie more than 500 miles away. Wang Daoyuan ordered him to entangle Spiritual Master Yan Yang. Soon after, he executed a minor ability. The spiritual energy within a radius of 100 miles instantly gathered. The spiritual energy from the outside world was rapidly replenished, forming a spiritual energy vortex with a radius of 100 miles. Wang Daoyuan rapidly converted the spiritual energy into fire spiritual energy. He took out the vermilion bird fan and condensed a vermilion bird phantom, which pounced towards Metal Elite Zombie. The golden flame on Metal Elite Zombie's body burned fiercely. It released the black gas with all its might. It could barely suppress the black gas and continue to pursue Gu Qingfeng. Wang Daoyuan used his consciousness to draw out the Scarlet Luan's Nirvana fire from the Firebane gourd and placed it near the fire attribute spiritual vein in the spiritual pearl. He took out the gourd and drew in a wisp of golden flame. Soon after, he injected the spiritual energy collected by his minor ability into the gourd. The gourd was quickly filled with golden flame. He controlled the gourd to spew out a large amount of golden flame, protecting Metal Elite Zombie. The spiritual energy within a radius of 100 miles continuously converged towards the gourd. The golden flame also grew more and more. Metal Elite Zombie was surrounded by a huge fireball with a radius of 10 miles. The vermilion bird phantom was still tossing and turning in the sea of fire, continuously increasing the firepower. Waves of black smoke and stench spread out from the sea of fire. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't hold on any longer. He couldn't care less about killing Gu Qingfeng. He fled towards the entrance of the mine, hoping to use the yin energy in the vein to extinguish the fire. Gu Qingfeng was chased like a stray dog. How could he let it do as it wished? He executed the flying dust escape and arrived in front of Metal Elite Zombie. He brandished his Fangtian halberd and struck it. Metal Elite Zombie was forced to retreat more than 10 miles. However, the sea of fire was still following it under the control of the vermilion bird phantom. Spiritual Master Flaming Sun used his fire-controlling technique to disperse the sea of fire. However, he was trapped by Wang Daoyuan's Black Tortoise Purgatory. He used all his strength to break the Black Tortoise Purgatory. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't escape. He also saw that Wang Daoyuan had a minor ability that he couldn't compare to. Even if he continued to stay here, he wouldn't be of any use. Once Wang Daoyuan destroyed Metal Elite Zombie, he wouldn't be able to escape death either. He turned into a ball of fire and fled towards the entrance of the mine. Gu Qingfeng was worried that Metal Elite Zombie would attack the other companions and chased after him. Metal Elite Zombie wanted to continue fleeing towards the west, but Wang Daoyuan used the 5-element seal to meet it head-on. Every time they collided, Wang Daoyuan felt his blood boil and his whole body ache. However, the effect wasn't bad. Metal Elite Zombie couldn't move an inch towards the west. When the cultivators of the 3 sects saw that Metal Elite Zombie was surrounded, they wanted to come to his rescue. However, they were entangled by the cultivators of the Zhao family. The golden sea of fire continued to burn. Wang Daoyuan repeatedly took medicinal pellets to replenish the consumption of his consciousness and heal his injuries. 2 hours later, Wang Daoyuan couldn't hold on any longer. His consciousness was almost depleted. Metal Elite Zombie had consumed too much of his corpse and death aura. His strength and physical strength were much weaker than before. Wang Daoyuan stopped using his minor ability and only used the vermilion bird fan and the meteorite fire controlling gourd to deal with him. The sea of fire quickly shrank and turned into a 300 zhang wide ball of fire. However, Metal Elite Zombie was still powerless to resist. After burning for another 4 hours, Metal Elite Zombie turned into a pile of ashes. The cultivators of the 3 sects had ashen faces. They no longer had the heart to continue fighting and fled back to the mine. Wang Daoyuan was already an arrow at the end of its flight. The others had fought for several hours and had consumed a lot of energy. They didn't pursue him any further and returned to Origin Mountain while chatting and laughing. Chapter 620. In order to prevent the Metal Elite Zombie from escaping, Wang Daoyuan used the Kirin seal to fight it head-on. His body was under great pressure. After many head-on clashes, his injuries were not light. He killed the Metal Elite Zombie by relying on his last breath. After he succeeded, his last breath dissipated and he almost could not fly. After forming his core, he had never fought so hard again. At this time, the Azure Dragon Pearl was releasing vitality in his body to heal his injuries. The elixirs he had eaten earlier were also slowly taking effect. After returning to the Returning Mountain, Zhao Jinghua took out a few jars of spirit wine and distributed it to everyone. He specially handed a jar of 1,000-year-old wine to Wang Daoyuan. I didn't expect the County King's ability to be so powerful that it could kill the Metal Elite Zombie. The Metal Elite Zombie should be the one who forced the 2 clansmen to self-destruct their golden cores in the Abyss Crystal Mine. Thank you, County King, for avenging the 2 clansmen of the Zhao clan. Wang Daoyuan took the jar of wine and drank with everyone. After drinking, Zhao Jinghua asked, County King, what do you plan to do next? Continue to wear them down. The other golden core cultivators of the three sects are either guarding the mountain gates or being restrained by His Majesty. Zhong Xinjiang had the intention to surrender. He did not use his full strength these few times. When Luo Juyo was in danger, he pretended not to see it. As long as Luo Juyo and Luo Juyu are killed, the cultivators of the three sects will definitely collapse. We can let Zhong Xinjiang go. There is only one golden core cultivator of the Luo clan in the underworld sect. Soon there will be chaos in the underworld sect. Some of the golden core cultivators will defect to His Majesty. Once the underworld sect surrenders, the Wanling sect and the Crescent Sun Palace will definitely not be a match. However, we need to pay attention to the Cold River Pass. If the Wanling sect no longer defends the pass and the Wei Kingdom invades, we will be in big trouble. Zhao Jinghua nodded. Don't worry, County King. I will pass on your words to His Majesty. Everyone dispersed to recover their spiritual power and injuries. 7 days later, the battle began again. Wang Daoyuan showed the strength to kill the metal elite zombie alone. The other party naturally did not dare to let Luo Juyo face him alone. This time, Luo Juyu resisted Zhao Jinghua alone, and Chen came over to resist Wang Daoyuan. Now that Gu Qingfeng had the Kirin's evil suppression spell, he could somewhat restrain the underworld sect's inheritance. In addition, his escape technique was strong, and he was also a body-refining cultivator. The Netherworld sect couldn't kill him, so they didn't continue to target him. At this point, both the Myriad Spirit sect and the Cruel Sun Palace were somewhat passive. For hundreds of years, although the three sects did not go to war, there were many small fights and backstabbings. Moreover, the two sects were backed by the Wei Kingdom and the Song Kingdom. If they really couldn't do it, they could surrender. The Netherworld sect had no way out, so why should the other two sects risk their lives for the Netherworld sect? This time, the cultivators of the two sects didn't go all out. They just wanted to preserve their own lives. Even Qian Yang didn't go all out against Wang Daoyuan. As soon as the two of them met, Qian Yang brought out a long sword that was burning with flames. This fellow was able to withstand Zhao Lingjiang's attacks in the Three River Market. His strength was similar to Wang Daoyuan's. Wang Daoyuan couldn't be bothered to use any more minor divine abilities, so he decided to use this opponent of his to practice his sword cultivation dharma spells. He brought out the white tiger blade, and 10 sword shadows appeared to block this sword. After using 3 sword shadows, he repelled Chen Yang's long sword. He didn't need to worry about Luo Juyo. The Red-Winged Crow would deal with him. The Red-Winged Crow could only use the strength of a mid-stage golden core cultivator to deal with ordinary cultivators. With its pure yang qi and natal true fire, it didn't feel much pressure to deal with late-stage golden core cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Luo Juyo used all kinds of methods, but he was only able to exchange blows with the Red-Winged Crow. Wang Daoyuan replenished the sword shadows, condensed the thick earth mystic handle, and used the flying dust escape to attack Qian Yang. Both of them were body-refining cultivators, so close combat was more interesting. Qian Yang wasn't a sword cultivator, but his physical body was stronger than Wang Daoyuan's, and the grade of his natal dharma artifact was also higher. Both of them didn't use their full strength, so they were evenly matched. On the other hand, Zhao Jinghua's side was particularly lively. Luo Jiyu kept taking out all kinds of dharma artifacts and rarely used dharma spells. Now it was certain that this guy was a half-corpse. His physical body was in a half-corpse state. Although it was very strong in terms of corpse chi and death chi, it was inferior to a real refined corpse. In terms of dharma spells, the power was also far inferior. To deal with ordinary cultivators of the same level, he could rely on his physical body to crush them. But to deal with a ruthless person like Zhao Jinghua, he didn't dare to use his physical body to take the attack. He didn't have a strong physical body like the metal elite corpse. Zhao Jinghua's sword could send him away directly. He could only use the corpse chi and death chi in his body to activate the evil cultivator's dharma artifact to deal with Zhao Jinghua. Zhao Jinghua's long sword was condensed with a thick layer of water spiritual power, and lightning flashed in it. He didn't use any dharma spells and just slashed out sword rays one by one. Each sword ray could break one of Luo Juyu's high-grade level 4 dharma artifacts. Although the blooming water lightning sword consumed a lot of spiritual power, it only slashed out sword rays, which were about 30% more than the blooming water divine lightning. With his strength, slashing out 100 times wasn't a problem. Luo Juyu's dharma artifacts were quickly exhausted, and his dodging speed couldn't compare to the sword rays. A sword ray slashed on his body, leaving a deep wound. Luo Juyu most likely had some relationship with the Sixth Prince. When he escaped, he didn't hesitate and turned into a black mist to escape. However, although his black mist was very fast, it couldn't last for long. He didn't dare to escape to the west, so he fled towards the mine. His physical body was very strong and it would take a lot of effort to kill him. Zhao Jinghua didn't chase after him, and turned to attack the myriad spirit sect's Taoist flying feather. One Zhao Lingjiang was already hard for him to deal with, and now there was the #1 expert of the Zhao state. Who could withstand this? Taoist flying feather ordered the gold-tailed owl to block, and he used an escape technique to escape to the west. He didn't have any confidence in defending the mysterious netherworld crystal mine, and didn't even enter the mine. Seeing him escape, Jin Shan didn't dare to continue fighting, and rode the golden eagle to escape. This man and eagle didn't have much fighting power, but they were very fast and no one could catch up. The power of law on Zhong Xinyang's body surged, and then black smoke spread out from his body. This black smoke was very corrosive, and black ghost heads kept flying out to attack everyone. The people of the Zhao family hurriedly used their spiritual power to protect themselves, and Gu Qingfeng also condensed the yellow main Kirin's shadow and used the Kirin evil suppression technique. Zhong Xinyang's small divine ability was really interesting, and Wang Daoyuan also used a small divine ability to convert all the surrounding spiritual power into fire attribute. He also released the meteoric flame-controlling gourd to burn the black smoke. In just a few breaths of time, the black smoke dissipated. At this time, Zhong Xinyang had escaped more than 100 miles to the west, and his speed was very fast. In the black smoke, the red-feathered crow didn't dare to chase Luo Jiuyo anymore, and used his natal spiritual fire to protect himself and escape the range of the black smoke. Luo Jiuyo also took this opportunity to escape, and he also wanted to continue to the west, but the red-feathered crow chased after him. In desperation he could only hide in the mine. The two cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace, who weren't very fast, were surrounded by 6 people. Spiritual Master Yen Yang was a little bold, and he rushed toward Wang Daoyuan with all his might, wanting to detonate his golden core and take him away. Unfortunately, his escape technique wasn't very good, and Wang Daoyuan used the flying dust escape to escape downwards. Soon he was more than 20 miles away, and seeing that the distance was getting farther and farther, Spiritual Master Yen Yang directly detonated his golden core. Wang Daoyuan had already reached the surface, and directly escaped underground. When the explosion of his golden core reached the surface, Wang Daoyuan had already escaped several hundred feet underground. With the obstruction of several hundred feet of rock, the power of the explosion was almost negligible. Wang Daoyuan didn't suffer any injuries, and escaped to the surface unscathed. Everyone stared at him with a mocking expression, and his expression was very complicated. After a long time, he cupped his hands and said, "Daoyu, I've always been a hidden cultivator of the cruel Sun Palace, and have never shown my face outside. When the 3 sects rebelled, I didn't participate. Before, in the 3 River Market, I only fought with Marquis Lingjiang and Daoyu, and didn't kill anyone from the Zhao family. The golden core of the cruel Sun Palace that was killed by Spiritual Master Yu Quan also had no relationship with me. I'm willing to surrender, and I ask that Daoyu give me a way out." Zhao Jinghua looked at Wang Daoyuan. After all, the Wang family and the cruel Sun Palace were mortal enemies, and he needed to ask for his opinion. Wang Daoyuan also didn't have any objections. Emperor Zhao had already decreed that those who surrendered would not be killed, and he couldn't openly disobey. This person was also not like the other cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace, who would get angry at the mention of the Wang family. When this guy fought with Wang Daoyuan, he didn't seem to be going all out, so there was no harm in letting him go. With him as an example, it would be easier to recruit the cultivators of the 3 sects in the future. Wang Daoyuan nodded. "Since His Majesty has already decreed that those who surrender will not be killed, I naturally have no objections." Chen Yang's face showed joy, and he hurriedly cupped his hands, saying, "Many thanks to Your Highness, many thanks to Duke Anghua." The cultivators of the 3 sects had either fled or died, and now that the Zhao family's strength clearly held the upper hand, it was time to force the underworld sect to surrender. The 2 rats in the mysterious netherworld crystal mine also had to be pulled out and killed. Chapter 621. This mysterious netherworld crystal vein was formed by the passage of an underground Yin vein during the ancient times. There were no Yin veins now, only a rank 3 non-attributed spiritual vein nearby. The vein was not very long, only about 100 miles long. Luo Jiuyo and Luo Jiuyu were hiding inside, and the Yin qi emitted by the ore below made it difficult for ordinary people to deal with them. However, Wang Daoyuan's minor ability could still be used. The theoretical range of his minor ability was a spherical space with a radius of 100 miles with him as the center. Unfortunately, the sky was not high enough, and the nine heavens astral wind was at a height of more than 10,000 miles. The power of law of his minor ability could not withstand a single blow from the astral wind. Moreover, it would be blocked by the underground rock stratum. If it was on a complete rock stratum without any interference, his minor ability could only reach a depth of a few hundred feet. However, there was already a cave in the mysterious netherworld crystal vein, and his minor ability could still extend inside. When everyone arrived at the entrance of the cave, the Golden Core practitioners of the three sects had suffered a crushing defeat, and the low-level practitioners in charge of the vein had fled. Now that there was no one managing the defensive formation at the entrance of the cave, and there was not much spiritual energy left in the formation plate, Zhao Jingwa broke the formation with a casual swing of his sword. He used his consciousness to explore the cave, then turned to Wang Daoyuan and asked, "The yin qi in the cave is very dense and suppresses the consciousness. Luo Juyu and Luo Juyo are good at hiding. If we go down rashly, we may be ambushed by them. Your Highness has many tricks up your sleeve. Do you have any way to deal with them?" Wang Daoyuan nodded and said, "I do have some ideas, but I need the cooperation of Qianyang Daoyu and Zhaolingyan Daoyu. In a while, I will use my minor ability to control the spiritual energy in the cave and bring the yin qi out. When the time comes, Qianyang Daoyu and Zhao Daoyu will pour their fire spiritual energy into the fire ward gourd. If we can fill the cave with the spiritual fire of the Golden Crow, Luo Juyu and Luo Juyo will suffer." Previously, when he burned the metal elite zombie, he had to rely on himself and almost died of exhaustion. Now that everyone was free, it would be a waste to not use idle people. Zhao Jingwa nodded and immediately took out a jade talisman to send a message to Zhao Lingyan, who was overseeing Mount Guiyuan. 15 minutes later, Zhao Lingyan arrived at the entrance of the mine. Wang Daoyuan activated his small divine art and controlled the spirit qi in the mine to surge out. A gust of wind blew at the entrance of the cave, bringing out the yin qi from the mine. This yin qi was slowly released by the mysterious netherworld crystal ore, and it had accumulated over the years. Now that it had been brought out, the ores wouldn't release much yin energy for the time being. In just half a cup of tea's time, the yin qi in the mine had been sucked dry. Wang Daoyuan summoned the meteorite fire raining gourd, and under the urging of it, the gourd continued to pour out golden flames. He instructed Zhao Lingyan and Qianyang Daoyu take turns to inject fire spiritual energy into the gourd. The two of them nodded. Zhao Lingyan went first. A ball of fiery red spiritual energy flew out of his hand and wrapped around the gourd. The fire spiritual energy was quickly absorbed by the gourd and turned into golden flames that poured into the mine. There was a third-order medium-grade attributeless spirit vein near the mine, which was still constantly seeping spirit qi into the mine. Wang Daoyuan transformed all the spirit qi into fire spiritual energy, but he didn't extract it and inject it into the fire raining gourd. The golden flames that poured into the mine could ignite the fire spiritual energy. Although the efficiency of fire spiritual energy was relatively low, the consumption of spiritual energy was much smaller. He also summoned the vermilion bird fan, and a vermilion bird phantom flew into the mine to increase the power of the flames in the mine. Using the vermilion bird fan to cast the vermilion bird fire controlling technique didn't consume spiritual energy, so he could hold on for a while. Under the guidance of the vermilion bird phantom, the flames quickly spread throughout the entire mine. At this time, it was a battle of attrition. If Wang Daoyuan and the others couldn't hold on, then they couldn't do anything to Luo Juyu and Zhao Lingyan. If Luo Juyu and Zhao Lingyan couldn't hold on, then they would either escape to their deaths or be burned to ashes. After a quarter of an hour, screams came from the mine. Soon, Wang Daoyuan's spiritual energy discovered that someone was using an escape technique to fly towards the entrance of the mine. He glanced at Qianyang and Qianyang nodded. His right arm condensed a giant arm phantom formed by flames. The newcomer quickly reached the entrance of the mine and shouted in a hoarse voice, "I'm Sir." Before he finished speaking, Qianyang punched him. The newcomer was beaten half to death and fell into the mine again. Qianyang dispersed the arm phantom and said with a smile, "This one can't take a beating. It should be Luo Juyo." Luo Juyo was quickly burned to death, and his body turned to ashes. In the depths of the mine, there were still screams from time to time. After a quarter of an hour, the screams disappeared. Wang Daoyuan put away the minor divine ability, and Qianyang and Zhao Lingyan continued to inject fire spiritual energy into the gourd. After another quarter of an hour, Wang Daoyuan let them stop. He drove the fire-inning gourd to take back all the flames in the mine. After the heat dissipated, He released 1,000 second-rank middle-grade soul-chasing bees and let them enter the mine to check the situation. As the pillar of the Netherworld sect, the Nine Abyss mysterious crystal mine was not overexploited, and the mine was not complicated. Not long after, the soul-chasing bees came back to report. There were no living people in the mine, and there were no other exits. There were only 2 piles of ashes. Wang Daoyuan and the others still went in to check in case Luo Jiu used an escape technique such as the earth escaping technique to hide underground. This mine was more than 3,000 feet deep underground. Once the earth escaping technique was used to escape to another place, even a late-stage golden core cultivator would be crushed to death by the pressure of the rock layer. If he wanted to hide, he could only hide under the mine. There was a hole above, so it was not a problem to escape a few thousand feet down. Near the 2 piles of ashes, there were burned pieces of golden cores, which were exactly the same as Luo Jiu's aura. After being burned by the red-gold flame, this thing was useless. Zhao Jinghua also used a secret technique to check the mine, but he did not find any trace of escape using the earth escaping technique. Now it was certain that both of them had been burned to death. Zhao Jinghua put away the pieces of golden cores and used them to summon the cultivators of the Netherworld sect. Wang Daoyuan wanted to return to the primordial mountain to recuperate before going to the Netherworld sect to summon them. At this time, Zhong Xinjiang sent a message. He said that he had killed the last golden core cultivator of the Luo family, and the Zhong, Gu and Ming families of the Netherworld sect had surrendered to Emperor Zhao. Those who were not willing to abandon the dark side and join the light side had all been eliminated, and the treasury had been sealed. He invited Wang Daoyuan and the others to the Netherworld sect's mountain gate to accept their surrender. Everyone was shocked when they received the message. Zhong Xinjiang's actions were really fast. Not long after killing Luo Jiu and the other person, the other side had already changed sides and eliminated the remaining enemies. Wang Daoyuan showed the communication jade talisman to Zhao Jinghua and asked, "Minister Zong, what do you think we should do?" Zhao Jinghua looked at the jade talisman and said, "This battle is led by the Duke, so the Duke has the final say." It had to be said that other than the 6th prince and a few stubborn old men, the rest of the Zhao family were good at doing things. Forcing the Netherworld sect to surrender was a great merit. At this time, whoever was in charge, the merit would be mainly given to them. Zhao Jinghua said this to put the credit on Wang Daoyuan's head. However, Wang Daoyuan did not want this merit. The Wang family was already an extremely high official. Before, they had already killed several strong enemies, and they also had the merit of commanding and planning. No matter how great the merit, it was useless. Could it make Emperor Zhao take off his robe and give up the throne? Wang Daoyuan did not have any use for this merit of surrendering, and it would attract fear for no reason. It was better to give it to Zhao Jinghua, which could also be considered as showing goodwill to the Zhao family. Thinking of this, Wang Daoyuan said with a smile, "The Netherworld sect surrendered to Emperor Zhao. Minister Zong is in charge of the Zhao family's affairs, and is most suitable to represent Emperor Zhao. You are still the leader." Zhao Jinghua also understood his meaning and agreed to this matter. The group of people rode a cloud towards the Netherworld sect. Zhao Jinghua also sent a message to Emperor Zhao to report the battle situation, and asked how to deal with the Netherworld sect and the surrendered Chen Yang. Chapter 622. When they arrived at the Underworld sect, Wang Daoyuan couldn't help but sigh. In the past they had to swallow their pride, but this time they had to surrender as the victors. At this moment, all the formations in the Underworld sect had been shut down. Wang Daoyuan scanned with his divine sense and didn't find anything wrong. Zhong Xinjiang led Gu Wangzong, Zhong Yaoting, and the Gu clan's Grand Elder Gu Xinghai to stand respectfully outside the Underworld sect. There were many Violet Palace Realm and Foundation Establishment Realm cultivators behind them, many of whom Wang Daoyuan was familiar with. For example, Zhou Qi, Lu Jinhui, and the Old Drunkard. Everyone walked forward with Zhao Jinghua in the lead, Wang Daoyuan followed closely behind, and the others followed behind. When they arrived, Zhong Xinjiang and the others bowed, and the cultivators below the Golden Core realm knelt. Zhong Xinjiang took out a beast skin book and handed it to Zhao Jinghua with both hands. Sinner Zhong Xinjiang, I present the list of the Underworld sect's inheritances. Sinner Gu Wangzong, I present the list of the Underworld sect's properties. Sinner Ming Huai, I present the list of the Underworld sect's disciples and affiliated families. The 3 of them represented the 3 main families of the Underworld sect and expressed their allegiance. Then Zhong Yaoting and Gu Xinghai presented the Underworld sect's defensive formation activation tokens and the key to the treasury. Zhao Jinghua ordered Zhao Lingjiang and Zhao Lingshu to accept the items. Then he said, Everyone, you have forsaken the darkness and joined the light. This duke has already reported to His Majesty the merits of killing the traitors. His Majesty is benevolent and has forgiven your rebellion. Also, I'll reward you for your contributions. Zhong Jinyang will be conferred the title of Count, and Gu Xinghai, Gu Wangzong, Zhong Yaoting, and Ming Huai will be conferred the title of Viscount. Sinner Qin Yang of the Cruel Sun Palace helped Princess Qingli kill the traitors Luo Jiuyu and Luo Jiuyu and was conferred the title of Count. Your titles haven't been decided yet, and once they are decided, the documents and seals will be sent over. The 6 of them bowed and thanked Zhao Jinghua. Zhong Jinyang asked, Dukan, how should we deal with the Luo family? Zhao Jinghua replied, Luo Jiuyu and the others have committed grave crimes, but the Luo Jiuyu and the rest. The cultivators of the Luo clan will all atone for their crimes by performing meritorious deeds. The ordinary clansmen will be divided into the Zhong, Gu, and Ming clans. Zhong Jinyang cupped his fists and nodded. Then he led everyone to the conference hall. This time there was no need to walk step by step along the stairs. Everyone directly rode on a cloud and flew up. After entering the main hall, Wang Daoyuan and Zhao Jinghua both sat on the main seats. Wang Daoyuan asked, What should we do with the Cruel Sun Palace? Does His Majesty have any orders? The Cruel Sun Palace was guarding the Cold River Pass. If they were forced into a corner, they might just submit to the Wei Kingdom. Then the Zhao Kingdom would be in danger. Wang Daoyuan had received a message from Zhou Luan that the Cruel Sun Palace was in contact with the forces of the Wei Kingdom. The current state of Zhao was not the same as before. 1,000 years ago, when the state of Zhao was expanding everywhere, they did not put anyone in their eyes. Several small countries established by the Zhou family's branches had been crushed. Back when the state of Zhao beat up the state of Wei, the state of Zhou also sent people to help the state of Wei. The state of Zhao resisted the pressure of the state of Zhou and pressed the state of Wei to the ground. But now the Zhao family was really no match for the state of Wei. Once they lost the Cold River Pass, how could the state of Wei not take revenge? Zhao Jinghua shook his head and said, His Majesty did not say clearly. He only said that he has his own arrangements and asked us to stay in the Netherworld sect and wait for the news. Then he sent a message to Emperor Zhao to report about the surrender. After learning the news that Wang Daoyuan and the others had won at the 9 Nether Mysterious Crystal Vein, Emperor Zhao immediately withdrew to the Wanchuan market. At this time he, Zhao Qingxian, Lord Linhai, and the others were in the conference hall. After receiving Zhao Jinghua's message, a smile appeared on his face. Wang Daoyuan is not simple. I gave him a county in exchange for forcing the Netherworld sect to surrender without losing a single Golden Core Realm cultivator. I also took in 4 Golden Core Realm cultivators from the Netherworld sect. I made a big profit from this deal. Everyone present also looked happy and got up to congratulate Emperor Zhao. Emperor Zhao sighed. It's really difficult to deal with the Cruel Sun Palace. It seems that we have to use the backup plan left by Big Brother. Then he took out a palm-sized white jade token with dragon patterns. Qingxuan exchanged this thing with his life. It has been 500 years and now it finally comes in handy. Zhao Qingyan was the second son of the first prince and Zhao Liang's second uncle. Emperor Zhao put the white jade token on the table and slammed it hard. A crack appeared on the white jade token. In the northwest corner of the Cold River County in the northwest of the state of Zhao, there was a canyon that divided the mountain into 2 sections. The cliffs on both sides of the canyon were more than 100,000 feet high, and the top of the mountain stretched into the 9 heavens astral wind layer. The canyon in the middle of the cliffs was less than 100 feet wide. A dangerous pass happened to be stuck in the canyon. This was the first dangerous pass in the state of Zhao, the Cold River Pass. For hundreds of years the state of Wei had lost many people in this dangerous pass, but the Cold River Pass was still the same. In the pass, there was always a Golden Core Realm cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. On the Wei side, 4 or 5 Golden Core Realm cultivators could not take down the Cold River Pass. Hundreds of miles away from the southeast corner of the Cold River Pass, there was a tall mountain called the Cold River Peak. At the foot of the Cold River Peak, there was a stream that flowed from the north to the south. This stream was the source of the Cold River. The Cold River County and the Cold River Pass were named because of this river. At the foot of the Cold River Peak, there was a stone room that was 100 feet square, more than 3,000 feet underground. On the east wall of the stone room, there was a circular light screen with a diameter of 10 feet. Inside it was a small secret realm with a diameter of only 10 or so miles. The scenery in the secret realm was quite good. It was like a small valley with a clear spring gushing out of it. Next to the spring was a thatched cottage. 2 white-haired cultivators were meditating. One wore a blue robe, the other a silver robe. Suddenly, a white jade token with dragon patterns on the table made a crisp cracking sound. Then a crack appeared on the token. The two old men were stunned, and then tears came out of their eyes. The blue-robed cultivator said with a trembling voice, "His Highness the Ninth Prince is finally going to restore the state. We've waited for more than 500 years. If we don't mobilize now, I'm afraid we won't be able to hold on." The silver-robed cultivator wiped his tears. "Calm down first. We still don't know what's going on outside. I'll go to the stone room outside and send a message to the Wei clan master to ask about the situation." Then he got up and walked outside. When he arrived at the stone room, he took out a jade token and sent a message. He soon received a reply. He looked at the jade token for a long time and couldn't hide the smile on his face. He hurriedly returned to the small secret realm. The blue-robed cultivator was waiting behind the light screen. He handed the jade token to the blue-robed cultivator. "His Highness the Ninth Prince has indeed mobilized, but the remaining clansmen have been defeated by that idiot Zhao Lingtian. Now that the Ninth Prince has ascended the throne, he has united the cultivators of Linhai Prefecture and the hidden clansmen of Shanbei and Green Willow Prefecture. He also roped in the descendants of Marquis Yuchuan to deal with the three sects together. Uncle and Marquis Yuchuan's descendants worked together and defeated the cultivators of the three sects at the Mystic Nine Depths Crystal Mine. They killed many golden core cultivators of the three sects, and the Netherworld sect has surrendered. Now, our Zhao clan has a great advantage and the restoration of our nation is in sight." The blue-robed cultivator took the jade token and looked at it for a long time. "It seems that His Majesty is worried about the situation at the Cold River Pass. Back then, the first prince asked us to hide here to prevent the three sects from rebelling and leading Wei cultivators into the pass. Now that His Majesty's jade dragon token has cracked, it should be that His Majesty wants us to seize the Cold River Pass. The Cruel Sun Palace only has 2 late-stage golden core cultivators left, and they are not a match for the two of us. As long as we seize the Cold River Pass, we won't have to worry about the Cruel Sun Palace luring a wolf into our house." Then the blue-robed cultivator walked out of the light screen and sent out another message. 15 minutes later, a black-armored late-stage Zifu realm middle-aged cultivator walked in. He cupped his hands at the blue-robed cultivator and said, "Wei Xuan who greets Senior." The blue-robed cultivator nodded and said, "Marquis Hanjiang's descendant is indeed extraordinary. Marquis Hanjiang and Marquis Yuchuan were close friends. Now that Marquis Yuchuan's descendant has made a great contribution, Xuanhu, don't fall behind. His Majesty has already sent a message asking us to seize the Cold River Pass and prevent the Cruel Sun Palace from luring a wolf into our house. I wonder if little friend has any plans?" Wei Xuanhu cupped his hands and said, "Senior, I will bring my clansmen to the Cold River Pass in 3 days. Senior can disguise yourself as a Wei clansman and sneak into the Cold River Pass." Chapter 623. The blue-robed cultivator nodded. "All right, we'll do as you say." Back then, Marquis Hanjiang died in battle with the eldest prince. The Wei family had to compromise and secretly pledge their loyalty to the Zhao family for hundreds of years. After this is over, I'll ask the emperor for a reward for the Wei family. At that time, the Wei family will be given the title of County Duke. However, you have to choose reliable clansmen. If this battle is over, there won't be any major battles in Hanjiang County. If this battle is lost and Wei country takes over Hanjiang Pass, Hanjiang County will never have peace in the future. The Zhao family didn't dare to completely trust the Wei family. After all, 500 years had passed, and the Wei family had changed a few heads. The Cruel Sun Palace had always treated the Wei family well. It wasn't impossible for the Wei family to join the Cruel Sun Palace. He said this to make Wei Xuanhu think twice. If this battle was over, Hanjiang County would become the battlefield between the Wei country and Zhao country. The Wei family wouldn't have a good time either. Cooperation couldn't only rely on loyalty and friendship. There had to be common interests and common enemies. Wei Xuanhu said solemnly, "Senior, don't worry. I'll definitely choose reliable clansmen." Then he took out 2 sets of Wei family's armor. 3 days later, the 2 of you will wear this armor and follow me to Hanjiang Pass. The armor was very long and could cover the entire body. There was even a helmet with a visor. When wearing this armor, one wouldn't be able to tell who they were with the naked eye. The blue-robed cultivator put away the armor and returned to the small secret realm. 3 days later, the 2 of them wore the armor and suppressed their cultivation to the middle stage of the Foundation Establishment realm. Wei Xuanhu was already waiting for them. When he saw the 2 of them, he cupped his hands and said, "Seniors, please follow me. The two Zhao family's Golden Core realm cultivators followed Wei Xuanhu to the top of the mountain. At this moment, there were already a few Foundation Establishment realm cultivators and more than 20 Qi Refinement realm cultivators waiting there. It was just that Foundation Establishment and Qi Refinement cultivators' armor patterns were not quite the same, and the grades were also different. Wei Xuanhu took out a flying boat and enlarged it to more than 30 meters long. Everyone boarded the flying boat and flew towards Hanjiang Pass in the northwest direction. When they arrived at Hanjiang Pass, the flying boat landed in front of the east gate of Hanjiang Pass. Everyone got off the flying boat. Wei Xuanhu took off his helmet and took out a token. He rushed towards the city gate and shouted, "Wei family's Wei Xuanhu is here to take over the defense." A Zifu disciple of the Crescent Sun Palace peeked his head out, then laughed. "So it's Wei Daoyu. I'll open the door right now." Soon after, the east gate opened and Wei Xuanhu walked in. The Zifu disciple came to greet him. Wei Xuanhu chatted with him for a while, then bid him farewell and headed to the protector's estate. The change in guard of the Frigid River Pass had to be reported to the Golden Core cultivator guarding the place. Wei Xuanhu ordered the other clansmen to take over the western city wall, while he brought the two Golden Core realm cultivators of the Zhao clan to the Guardian Envoy residence. The person guarding this place was the Grand Elder of the Cruel Sun Palace, Immortal Yu Yang, who was also at the late stage of the Golden Core realm. He had been guarding the Cold River Pass since the Cruel Sun Palace took it down 500 years ago. Wei Xuanhu brought the two of them into the Guardian residence. Spiritual Master Yu Yang received them in the meeting hall. He looked at the two golden cores of the Zhao family and smiled. Why did Mystic Tiger bring two Foundation Establishment juniors here? The two golden cores of the Zhao family attacked at the same time, taking out a blue and a silver longsword. The blue longsword faintly flickered with lightning, while the silver longsword emitted a baleful aura. When the cultivator holding the blue sword attacked, he didn't forget to throw Wei Xuanhu out. When two late Golden Core cultivators fought, even the slightest shockwave could kill a Zifu disciple. Spiritual Master Yu Yang was caught off guard and was ambushed by two cultivators who were stronger than him. It was impossible for him to dodge. He could only take out his life-bound magic weapon and take on the attacks of the two. Two sounds of metal clashing could be heard. Spiritual Master Yu Yang was sent flying, crashing through several layers of the walls of the Guardian residence. Only when he hit the city wall did he stop. The two Golden Core realm cultivators of the Zhao family quickly followed him and continued to attack. Spiritual Master Yu Yang hurriedly begged for mercy. "Daoyu, please stop." When the Cruel Sun Palace took down the Frigid River Pass, the Zhao family had already retreated. Since then I've been guarding this place. My hands have not been stained with the blood of the Zhao family. Emperor Zhao has decreed that as long as the cultivators of the three sects are willing to surrender, they can redeem themselves. The Cruel Sun Palace is already at the end of the road. Some Golden Core realm cultivators have already surrendered to Emperor Zhao. I'm also willing to renounce the darkness and join the light. The two Golden Core realm cultivators glanced at each other and nodded. The blue-robed cultivator took out a blue pearl with a diameter of 3 inches and said with a smile, "The Frigid River Pass is of great importance. We have to be careful. This is a special Gui water lightning pearl. As long as I willed it, it would explode. As long as you swallow it, I'll believe you for the time being." When the Zhao family army breaks through the Cruel Sun Palace's mountain gate and takes over the Frigid River Pass, I'll take it out for you. If you want to take it out yourself, it will also explode. Spiritual Master Yu Yang hesitated for a while before swallowing the pearl. The blue-robed cultivator said with a smile, "Order the cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace to stop." As soon as they started fighting, the Wei family began to seize control of the western city wall. On the Frigid River Pass, there were cultivators of the Cruel Sun Palace as well as many cultivators of the surrounding families. Now that the Wei family and the Cruel Sun Palace were fighting, the cultivators of the other families didn't know who to help. Spiritual Master Yu Yang said loudly, "Disciples of the Cruel Sun Palace, listen up, give up resistance. The Netherworld sect has already surrendered to Emperor Zhao and there are not many people left in the Cruel Sun Palace. If we continue to resist, we will die. I've already decided to abandon the darkness and surrender to Emperor Zhao. The palace master of the Cruel Sun Palace wants to surrender to the Wei State and lead the Wei State cultivators into the pass. We all have a blood feud with the Wei State cultivators. Once they enter, will we have a good time? If Emperor Zhao attacks again, the entire Frigid River County will become a battlefield. At that time, the families won't even be able to protect the foundation of their ancestors." Hearing this, most of the Cruel Sun Palace disciples gave up resistance. A small number of Cruel Sun Palace disciples refused to surrender and were quickly killed under the siege of the Wei family cultivators and other family cultivators. Spiritual Master Yu Yang shouted, "Clean up the pass and prepare to defend against the Wei state's attack." The Wei state had a large camp 300 kilometers west of the Frigid River Pass. It was impossible for them to not notice such a big commotion in the Frigid River Pass. It wouldn't be long before they came to take advantage of the situation. Everyone immediately took action, tidying up the western city wall and preparing to defend against the enemy. The blue-robed cultivator took out the cracked white jade token with dragon patterns and crushed it. At the Wanchuan market, the white jade token in front of Emperor Zhao also shattered into pieces. Emperor Zhao's face lit up. Great, the backup plan left by Big Brother has worked. Now that the Frigid River Pass is in the hands of the Zhao family, even if the Cruel Sun Palace wants to collude with the Zhao state, they are powerless. Everyone get ready, we are going to attack the Myriad Spirit Sect. Everyone agreed in unison and went to prepare for the battle. Emperor Zhao took out a jade talisman and sent a message. In the Netherworld Sect's meeting hall, Zhao Jinghua took out a jade talisman and said with a smile, "We didn't wait in vain. His Majesty has sent a message that the Frigid River Pass has been taken. We don't have to worry about the Wei state anymore and can attack the Cruel Sun Palace without worry." In addition, His Majesty has ordered everyone in the Zhao family to return to the Wanchuan market. His Majesty is going to personally attack the Myriad Spirit Sect. He has appointed Duke Qingli as the Southern Mountain Appeasing Ambassador to lead the cultivators of Linhai State, the Netherworld Sect and the Cruel Sun Palace to attack the Cruel Sun Palace. Wang Daoyuan cupped his hands towards the southeast and said, "As His Majesty commands." Zhao Jinghua gave Wang Daoyuan the token that controlled the various formations of the Netherworld Sect, as well as the key to the treasury. Then he left the Netherworld Sect with a few golden core cultivators of the Zhao family and headed towards the southeast. Wang Daoyuan ordered, "Gu Qingfeng, summon the 2 golden core cultivators stationed at Gold Goose City. Gold Goose City and Origin Mountain will be guarded by Zifu cultivators. Zhong Xinyang, gather all the cultivators of the Netherworld Sect who can participate in the battle and prepare to set off at any time. In addition, take out all the pills, talismans, magic tools and other resources of 3rd grade and below from the Netherworld Sect's treasury and supply them to the army." The 2 cupped their hands and agreed. The other cultivators also went to work. Chapter 624. Not long after everyone went down, Zhong Xinyang sneakily came back. He took out a universe ring and said with a flattering expression, "Your Royal Highness, we are old friends. Netherworld Sect bullied Wang family before, but it was all that bastard Luo Jiuyo's idea. Our 3 families didn't participate. It's just that we old guys have a blood feud with Zhao family. Emperor Zhao is magnanimous and won't lower himself to our level. It's just that the younger generation of Zhao family will inevitably target us. Their lives won't be easy. We heard that your Royal Highness can confer the title of Marquis and below, so we want to work for you. This is the universe ring I got from exploring the cave of an ancient cultivator. The space inside is 500 feet square. The copies of Netherworld Sect's inheritance made by my family's younger generation are all inside. In addition, there are some local specialties of Netherworld Sect. Please kindly accept them." Although Netherworld Sect's 3 families had titles, their fiefs had not been determined. After Zhao family quelled the rebellion, they would reward meritorious officials. There were Zhao family's relatives, Lin Hai's 13 families and the old nobles. Netherworld Sect's 3 families were not on the same side as any other power. If there was no one above them they could live, but after they died their younger generations would be bullied to death. Wang Daoyuan was also very tempted by this item. The inheritance that the Underworld Sect had accumulated for thousands of years was a huge treasure to any force. However, he didn't dare to agree easily. If he accepted them as his subordinates, it would be a blatant expansion of his power. It would be easy to be suspected of disloyalty. He waved his hand again and again. "I don't dare to make this decision. You surrendered to Emperor Zhao, not me. Emperor Zhao should have the final say on where the fief is. Besides, there are no large yin veins in my territory." Zhong Xinyang said with a smile, "We don't dare to ask for success. When His Majesty assigns titles, your Royal Highness can say a few good words. It doesn't matter if there are yin veins or not. As early as 100 years ago, when the Yin Qi and Mingshui River disappeared, we began to prepare. There are some clansmen who practice righteous cultivation methods in the family. Even if there are no yin veins, the family can continue. If we have meridians, even if we have to seal ourselves in the bitter cold of the northern mountains, we are willing to do so. Wang Daoyuan nodded. If that's the case, it's not a problem to say a few words, but I can't guarantee that it will work. Zhong Xinyang's face was full of joy. It's good that Your Highness is willing to ask. I hope Your Highness will kindly accept these local specialties. Wang Daoyuan accepted the interspatial ring without hesitation. It had to be said that Zhong Xinyang was really good at doing things. There were indeed many good things in his interspatial ring. In addition to a large number of jade slips and beast skin books, there were also piles of 3rd and 4th grade refining materials and processed spirit herbs. Naturally, there was also the purple gold jade marrow fruit. He had also gathered all the supplementary herbs needed to form the gold core. Moreover, the seeds of these spirit herbs were still preserved. The local specialties of the underworld sect were really good. He secretly decided that he would also plunder some local specialties from the Cruel Sun Palace. 2 days later, the resources and manpower of the underworld sect had been allocated, and they were ready to go to battle at any time. Wang Daoyuan ordered a golden core cultivator from Linhai State to guard the underworld sect. There were also low-level cultivators from the Zhao clan, Linhai State, Guiyuan sword sect, and some cultivators under the command of the Duke's Manor. Of course, there were also many cultivators from the underworld sect. The cultivators were a little mixed, so no one could have an absolute advantage. That way they wouldn't dare to cause trouble. Wang Daoyuan led 7 golden core cultivators to the west. He had to take low-level cultivators with him. The cultivators of the underworld sect's Luo clan could not be left out. Wang Daoyuan didn't have the intention to scheme against them. To put it bluntly, the Luo clan's cultivators were just cannon fodder. The losses from the Cruel Sun Palace might not be great, but after taking it down there were still battles to fight. Zhong Xinyang, that old fox, knew his attitude towards the Luo clan. Without his orders, he would send the Luo clan's cultivators to the most dangerous place. 10 third-tier flying warships, 1 fourth-tier middle-tier flying warship and 30 flying boats, under the leadership of 8 gold core realm cultivators, headed west. The Cruel Sun Palace wasn't far from the underworld sect. It was in the Sunset County, east of Darkwada County. It was said that in ancient times a golden crow had fallen here, so it was named the Sunset County. The Cruel Sun Palace was in the Sunset Valley in the middle of the Sunset County. There was something special about the Sunset Valley. There were cliffs on both sides and a lava river in the middle. The lava in other places was 8,000 to 10,000 feet below the surface, but the lava river in the Sunset Valley was only 2,000 feet above the surface. Also, the spirit chi in the lava river was comparable to a rank 4 high-grade spirit vein. The entire Sunset Valley was 500 miles long and 50 miles wide at its widest. The buildings in the Cruel Sun Palace were on the cliffs on both sides of the Sunset Valley. There were also huge stone pillars protruding from the lava river. A few buildings were built on these pillars. When Wang Daoyuan and the others arrived at the Sunset Valley, the Cruel Sun Palace didn't surrender immediately like the underworld sect. The Sunset Valley was enveloped by a rank 4 high-grade defensive array. Breaking through this kind of defensive array was not something that could be done in a short period of time. They found a rank 3 mid-grade spirit vein east of the Sunset Valley as their temporary base. Then Wang Daoyuan led the golden core cultivators to check the Sunset Valley's defense formation. Of course, it was also to intimidate the Cruel Sun Palace. Of the 8 golden core cultivators, 4 were late-stage golden core cultivators. The Cruel Sun Palace only had 3 golden core cultivators at the very most. One was Sect Master Golden Sun, one was Grand Elder Earth Flame, and the last was Lei Wudao, who had just formed his core. This guy had been nurtured as a golden core seedling and had finally formed his core recently. The 3 of them together were 2 times the battle power of Lord Waterfront Sea. They were nothing in front of Wang Daoyuan. Qian Yang stepped forward and shouted, "I'm Qian Yang, the hidden golden core cultivator of the Cruel Sun Palace. In terms of seniority, I'm the same as Golden Sun Sect Master. Now the Cruel Sun Palace has lost almost all its golden core cultivators. It's impossible to stop Emperor Zhao's army. Emperor Zhao has decreed that cultivators of the 3 sects who surrender will redeem themselves and those who betray will be rewarded. After I surrendered, I helped the Duke kill the Underworld Sect Master Luo Jiuyo and his brother. I'm now a count. The 4 golden core cultivators of the Underworld sect killed the golden core cultivators of the Luo family who didn't want to surrender. If you can surrender before the Duke makes his move, you'll be rewarded with a city and a title. After Emperor Zhao quells the rebellion, those with titles will be rewarded with land. Fellow disciples, It's up to you whether you want to be killed or be rewarded with land. After Qian Yang finished speaking, there was no movement in the cruel Sun Palace. Wang Daoyuan didn't want to waste time and took out the meteorite fire-controlling gourd. Red and gold flames gushed out of the gourd. Below was a lava river and a high-grade rank 4 fire spiritual vein. The fire spiritual qi was extremely rich. The golden flames quickly ignited the fire spiritual qi and the fire quickly spread. He also took out the vermilion bird fan and used the vermilion bird fire-controlling technique. The vermilion bird phantom attacked the defensive formation with the golden flames. The lava river below was also ignited by the golden flames and the fire became even fiercer. Wang Daoyuan only needed to consume a small amount of spiritual sense to control the flames of the fire-controlling gourd. Not only did he not need to consume spiritual power, he could also continuously extract spiritual power from the golden flames. If this continued, it wouldn't be a problem to last for 10 days or half a month. The attack of the vermilion bird phantom was also extremely powerful under the support of the endless flames. The fiery red light barrier of the defensive formation slightly trembled under the attack. The defensive formation of the cruel Sun Palace should be both offensive and defensive. But this formation was only passive and didn't have the slightest intention of attacking. Fire attribute formations were good at offense and didn't have much of a defensive ability. The cultivators of the cruel Sun Palace abandoned their strengths and used their weaknesses. If this continued, the formation wouldn't be able to last much longer. At this moment, Zhong Xinjiang took out a formation testing disc and began to search for the formation's weakness. 15 minutes later, a late-stage Violet Palace realm cultivator appeared in the center of the setting Sun Valley, in front of a palace on a stone pillar. He cupped his hands at Wang Daoyuan. "Greetings, Your Highness. The Grand Elder, Palace Lord and Vice Palace Lord have already used the Sect's backup plan to escape the setting Sun Valley a day ago. They also took away the talented disciples in the palace, as well as all the inheritances and resources they could take away. Now, there are only a few old and weak people left in the formation as well as a few mortals. Please give them a way out and let them go, Your Highness. If you want to kill them, I'll take responsibility. As long as Your Highness agrees, I'll close the defensive formation." You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.